It's toss time for the second T20 International at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. The USA up against Canada, cricket's longest standing rivalry. We've got former West Indies fast bowler Rayon King as our match referee. Monarch has got the coin as always, home captain. Heads. And it is a head. So Sad has won the toss. Sad, you've won the toss. What will we be doing and why?
We're going to be bowling first. Overcast conditions, bit of drizzle in the air, so hopefully it will help the bowlers if we can restrict them to a lower total and then try to chase it.
From a batting perspective, you guys only got to 137 in that last game. What would you like to see change today?
Well, definitely the intent has to be there. Like we spoke about certain things, the dot ball percentage needs to go down. So, and the intent again, rotation of strike, but at the same time you have to keep wickets in hand as well. So the few areas which we lacked yesterday, we spoke about them, and then hopefully we'll try to improve on those.
What have you done with your team?
One change, Parveen Kumar is debuting. He comes in for Dilpreet Bajwa.
Is that tactical or injury related?
Tactical.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you.
Let's get Monarch Patel now, USA captain. Monarch, batting first, today. Happy with that?
Not really. I mean, whatever the situation is, but we will bat first, but we would have bowled first too. Given the condition, we will like to assess the first 2 overs and make sure that we play positive and use the power play.
Yeah, in terms of that batting approach, Monarch, with these new additions in your team, how do you want your team to go about, especially in that power play from a batting perspective?
I mean, as I said, first 2 overs are, we can take time, and then later on the next 4, we want to make sure that we use the power play and play positive with a positive mindset and play the cricketing shots.
What have you done with your team and why?
We have one change. Nisarg Patel comes in place of Gajanan Singh. It looks like there will be some help for the spinners, so we just wanted to add one more spinner.
All right, all the best today.
Thanks.
That was Monarch Patel. So the news from the middle then is that Sad bin Zafar, the Canadian captain, has won the toss, and they will be bowling first. Yeah, we welcome you into Prairie View Cricket Complex here in Houston, Texas. The USA up against Canada in what is the second T20 International between these two teams. Cricket's longest rivalry, dating all the way back to 1844 when these two teams met for the first time in international cricket. Canada took the first game. If you're recently joining us in this series, sorry, it was the USA that took the first game quite comfortably by 6 wickets, 17 deliveries to spare. Well, Canada have won the toss. They're bowling. Here we go. First delivery in some overcast conditions. Been some rain around. Some lateral movement on offer for Rishiv Joshi. As I say hello to Brian Walters. Brian, how are you?
I'm excellent, Nikhil. Welcome back to Texas. Fantastic atmosphere. Brilliant outfield. You're right. There certainly has been overcast conditions, but the weather gods have let up long enough for us to get this game started. Nikhil, seeing Sad bin Zafar win the toss and choosing to bowl, I think that's a fair decision. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, there's definitely some away movement from the left-hander. It's why there's a slip in place, and usually with that wind that tends to come from the south, you will get that away shape. So expect to see a lot of pace being bowled from that end and a lot of spin bowled from the southern end. So yeah, beautiful day. It's good, really. There's been a lot of rain on the forecast. Really good that you can get some cricket. Brian Walters would have been a concern for these two teams, but happy that we've got a start. Underway are the USA. Will be a challenge after losing the toss, because the trend here, as you know, Brian, has been for teams to win the toss and bowl, like Sad bin Zafar did. And saw Canada, it was tough for them to start in that first T20 International. I wonder how that sort of impacts the approach of Monarch Patel and Stephen Taylor.
It's interesting because you mentioned the wind, not very strong today, but it is coming from the south. So batting from this end, and Monarch Patel is about to take strike for the first time. Watch the length that Rishiv Joshi bowls, because if it is full and he elevates the ball going down the ground, that will be helped by the wind. So he's going to have to be very careful with both his line and his length, particularly as it relates to the wind.
Yeah, Joshi, one of the newer members of this Canadian side, an seam option that they're trying to invest in. And no Kaleem Sana or Jeremy Gordon. That will be runs, will be the first boundary. Outfield is very quick at the Prairie View Cricket Complex, and the captain is underway.
That was elegant. That was almost a test type shot. You know, in T20 you can have these inventive types of shots, but this is just classic. Look at this high front arm, foot front foot right to the pitch, and just lovely drive right down the ground. Again, high front elbow, and that's exactly the type of shot that the captain wants to get his account going.
Yeah, he's very strong offside and down the ground, especially in the power play when you're only allowed 2 fielders outside the circle. Still sticking with that deep third as well as backward square as the 2 outside the circle, so probably will want to be a lot straighter, Joshi, with that angle. Getting the ball to come back in. He's got options with that left arm over angle. They attacked him in the power play in that first game, got 10 off the first over, and from there we're underway. But again, it's a different challenge now, batting first, having to set a target. And it's one of the few grounds in the United States where the toss plays a huge part in terms of the result, especially on days like today where you have overcast conditions, you have rain around, the ball will swing.
Left-hander then has the option of either swinging it in or going across Monank Patel. See what he does here.
Yeah, good start. Canada will be happy, so will the USA. End of the first, 5-0. I look at the 2 teams, the USA making 1 change. They've gone for the extra spinner. They've got 3 left-arm spinners, Brian, in that squad, with Nisarg Patel in place of Gajanan Singh. It's going to be a tough 11 to pick this one, but Monank Patel said he believes this surface will spin a bit more. Now, in terms of Canada, they've also made 1 change. Parveen Kumar making his debut.
It's interesting you mentioned 3 left-arm spinners, 3 orthodox left-arm spinners. So all 3 will be turning the ball away from the right-handers. I think that's what the thinking there would be. I think, you know, the experience of all 3 of them, Nisarg Patel probably the least well-known of the 3. For a long time, you've seen the likes of the bowlers for the USA, just tremendous effort with the left arm. And then this one going past Stephen Taylor. Going back to the left-arm spinners. The strength of the batting lineup for Canada, I think, is in the top. Particularly, you're looking at Aaron Johnson, and maybe slightly to a lesser extent, Srimantha Wijaratne. But if you have the ball leaving those 2, I think that puts you in a good position of being able to make inroads into the attack. And that would have been the thinking, I think, for Monank Patel.
Won't get to the boundary. We'll get a couple though. It's interesting as well, Brian. I wonder how this USA team plans for the World Cup, because you look at a team like Canada, you understand why you have that sort of presence of left arm spin. Canada have got the top 5 full of right-handers, with Nicholas Curtin batting at 6.
Yep.
Against other teams, maybe at the World Cup, the Indias, the Pakistans, the Irelands, you will get some left-handers in there. So, one, are they brave enough, Stuart Law and co, to go to that left-arm spin regardless? Or will they look and survey options like Taylor, Gajanan Singh, who bowls some off-spin? Oh, this is trouble. If he hits, he's gone. He misses everything. Yeah, and that was pure chaos. Monank Patel and Stephen Taylor, they were at the same end.
Oh my goodness, Monank Patel, the captain there, guilty probably of miscommunication, and they're going to talk about it in the middle because he was literally at the same end as you mentioned. Look at this. I think there was no single there, so I'm not quite sure why he was trying to pinch a single. And he was certainly all the way down. A better throw would have had him stranded. Took off. Boy, he could have touched him. There, that throw had that throw been accurate, he would have been on his way back to the pavilion. He can consider himself lucky there, Monank Patel.
Yeah, one thing you notice early to Taylor, first 7 deliveries have been on the fuller side. In that last game when he got the 22, all of the 6s were short and they were pulled into the leg side. So they've already made an adjustment, and it's worked so far. It can be so destructive, Stephen Taylor, if he gets going early.
You're absolutely right with the length, and further to the point I was making earlier, from this direction Stephen Taylor would be hitting into the wind, so perhaps that's a little bit of tossing the carrot out there and asking him to hit into the wind, which would hold the ball up.
Yeah, third point, there's no deep point. They have the deep third, which I don't tend to see often in the power play. So Taylor capitalizes. First boundary for him.
Good looking shot. It was there to be hit, to be fair. It was short and outside off. And any left-hander with the ball going across him in that way, and it was slanted in, but there you see the line is probably a fifth stump line. Plenty of width for Stephen Taylor on offer, and he cashes in behind point. So that's a boundary. One more ball to go here in over number 2, and they've started out well here, the U.S.
Edge just past slip. It was Johnson. He's usually very good at that position. Difficult chance going to begging. A lot happening in that over. End of 2, 15 for none.
Boy, just one look at this before we go to a break, Nikhil. That thick outside edge. We talked about the fuller length, and that's exactly what you're trying to do, is to get Stephen Taylor to drive. Here we see thick edge, and almost like he reacted just a touch late there, Aaron Johnson. 4 down to deep third, 15 without loss.
Yeah, so a couple of chances early for Canada. Haven't capitalized though. Not the easiest of batting conditions. We are on a new surface, pitch number 3. It was the one to the right of screen that we used a couple days ago. Joshi continuing. Yeah, he's very strong, very prolific through the offside, especially against fuller bowling. This is a dangerous sign for Canada. Monak Patel is underway.
Lovely looking shot. Front foot right to the pitch again, and just hitting through the line. It's the angle for me, the ball leaving him and giving him a little bit of width, elevating that one over the top of extra cover for another boundary. So good looking shot, and worrying signs here for Canada. They're a little bit inconsistent with the lines and the lengths, and the U.S. is making them pay so far.
It's an interesting decision this by the captain, and we saw it in that first game, Brian, where you don't always see back-to-back overs in the power play. To give Joshi the second one, I know the first one only went for 5, but Monak Patel, because he doesn't have the pace, really has a small margin of error. I wonder if they can maybe think about, maybe in the future of the series or in the power play today, someone like Hilliger with a bit of extra pace. Teams have attacked Patel going short and at the body. When it's full, it's just way too easy for him because he's such a strong driver of the ball. Up and over. Mid-off up in the circle. Easy pickings for the captain. And it's gone all the way for 6 as well.
Well, Nikhil, I heard your comments on Sunday about attacking Monak Patel short, and I think anything would be better than bowling full to him, because he's absolutely cashing in on anything that he's able to drive. Whether he's driving along the ground as he did in the first over, straight down the ground for 4, or whether he's elevating over the top. There has to be a different option. I think I like your suggestion with Dylan Hilliger, maybe taking an over or 2 to try to attack him with short pitch bowling, because this, as of right now, is not working for them. 14 from 6 for the captain, 2 4s and a 6.
Yeah, this time a bit shorter. I think the way they got him out actually is with that strength of driving the ball Monak Patel in the last game. However, the end was different. They had him driving but into the wind. Now he's driving with that very strong southern wind, which of course just carries the ball, as you saw a couple of deliveries ago, all the way for 6. And making a change to the field now. They've got third in the circle. They're going to send back the deep point. So more protection for a shorter length.
Shorter length, whether it be straight or wide. There's a deep square leg as well as a deep point. So expect to see the shorter length deliveries.
It's well put away, well placed by Monak Patel. Knew the change of field meant a change of length, but he positions it to the left of backward square.
I'll tell you what, that's a good piece of batting. As you mentioned, you know that with that change of field, you're expecting a shorter length, and he was ready for it, whipping it away. Not quite a full-blooded hook, just kind of forcing it away off of his legs, but does well enough to get it square or to the left of that fielded deep square leg for yet another boundary. 14 from the over so far. Canada is leaking runs, 29 runs with 1 ball to go before the halfway point of the power play.
Yeah, that is class. Absolute class from Monak Patel, the captain. And he's underway in a big way for the USA. End of the third, 33 for none.
Oh my goodness. We might get the chance to see this again before we go away. Look at this. More along the sort of keeping it on the ground variety this time. Front foot right to the pitch. That would be at home in any test cricket match. A proper cricket shot racing away through extra cover for yet another boundary. 3 overs bowled, 33 without loss.
Asi. Drop back.
Yeah, it's been a riveting start to this second T20 International, live from Houston, Texas, if you're now joining us. The USA took the first one, and they've started strongly. It's been the captain again, Monak Patel. 18 from that last over. Time for some spin. Harsh Thakur. Drilled through cover. He got Stephen Taylor out in that first T20 International, but just starts too short, too easy.
Yeah, gave him just a touch of width outside off, and again short. No protection in the deep. We're still inside the power play. Look at Stephen Taylor here, rocking back onto the back foot and just forcing it right through the covers. Really well played for Stephen Taylor. No risk in that shot, really. Races away for 4.
Catch it.
This time Fuller.
One.
Who have that long on back for protection, and this option of spinning the ball away is something Sad bin Zafar likes against Stephen Taylor. Thakur's dismissed him once in one international cricket. Nick Curtin, the off spinner, other off spin option, got him in the last game.
Obviously much more risk bringing that spinner on inside the power play. Still only 2 fielders allowed outside for the next 1 over and 4 deliveries.
Daddy, you're coming here.
So the last 10 balls of the power play coming up, you're going to have to be very careful here, particularly since you're now bowling to the right-handed Monak Patel, Any turn will be into him. So look to him to elevate that ball over the leg side if possible.
Edged and put down. It's Johnson again at slip, and this is a huge opportunity missed.
Oh, that is a big miss. Expecting that ball to turn away, but this one just goes on straight with the arm, straight to Aaron Johnson. A very straightforward catch. If you're going to be in the slips, that's something that you're going to have to swallow up. Aaron Johnson will be upset that he put that one down.
Get it, Sadi.
Yeah, and this pitch 3 is supposed to spin a bit more. It's supposed to have a bit more in it for the spin. So no surprise that he's gone to Taka. I really am surprised Sad bin Zafar, the captain, hasn't bowled in the power play yet in the series. Usually is their best option.
Get one.
He's dismissed Monak Patel
Get it in!
a couple of times in international cricket. Didn't bowl in the power play in the last game. You understand with Stephen Taylor, left hand at the crease, but he's been their best bowler for years, bin Zafar.
I would agree with you on 2 counts. Number 1, he is their best bowler, spinner in any event. And then certainly with the presence of Stephen Taylor, that would restrict his thinking in terms of bringing himself on inside the power play.
Get it.
Yeah, over long off. Mid-off, sorry, in the circle. So runs flowing. Plenty runs in the power play. End of 4, 43 for none.
My goodness. There's been a boundary off of the last 3 consecutive overs. Struck straight down the ground here, Stephen Taylor. Again, just a little bit too full. And even though he's hitting into the wind with mid-off inside the power play, that does not present any sort of risk. End of 4, 43 without loss.
Skip 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Right to move on.
Still 2 overs to go in the power play. Bhagwan Singh, change of ends for him. So more seam into the attack.
No!
Really am surprised, Brian. The only time Monak Patel has looked trouble is against that pace off option. Just saw him, Harsh Thakur edged the one against Harsh Thakur in the last over, but it's not like they don't have the options. They've got Curtin, they've got Captain Saad bin Zafar. Can both spin the ball away from Monak Patel, but he's persisting with the seam.
It's interesting. He's advanced down the track a couple of times to the pace bowler. Saw him do that a couple of times on Sunday. And looking to do that first ball here, looking to upset the rhythm of Uday Bhagwan Singh. Looking to see if he can sort of change the conversation, because the U.S. is off to a flyer, going at the rate of 10.32 and over. Tremendous start with the bat, and of course batting with a certain amount of freedom.
The only thing I'm thinking about from Saad bin Zafar, I'm just wondering if his use of these two seamers, especially because they're so similar, both really swing bowlers, don't have that pace as someone like a Kaleem Sana. Thus, he's trying to make use of that brand new ball. This is where he believes might be the best place to use them. As deep third comes into the circle now. So again, they have the deep point, more protection, square. Pace off this time, but again, too full. Mid-off and mid-on up in the circle. Monak Patel got 50 in the first game, and the USA international captain is right back picking up where he left off in that game.
Just drilling this one back down the ground. Pace off, as you mentioned, but it was in the slot. Look where this ball pitches, right in the slot. That's not going to present any problems whatsoever for Monak Patel. As you mentioned, coming off of a 50 in the first game and continuing along that same vein here. Absolutely brilliant batting for the captain. He's gotten his team again off to a flyer, up to 27 from 15 balls with 5 fours and a 6. And putting his team, I think, on target for what will be an imposing total.
It's amazing, really, to think that Patel never had an international, T20 international 50, that is, before this series. Chance, maybe no. Still over. This is commanding, very commanding from Patel.
Now this time it was pace on. He definitely put his back into that one. You might have heard him grunt with the stump mics working perfectly fine. But look where, again, look at the length. It is a length that will allow Monak Patel to get under the ball and hit it back over his head. And once again, with the wind blowing from the south, anything in the air is going to be helped by the wind. So 50 coming up inside the power play. Still another 1 over and 2 balls remaining.
Yeah, this time through point. Don't think it carried to that point fielder. Nonetheless, though, it's another boundary. So maybe he predicted that there would be an adjustment in length. Created room in that offside. They've had no answers, Canada.
Well, I will say this is a moral victory to the bowler. He certainly didn't intend for it to go there, Monak Patel. Looking to play that one more through extra cover. Thick outside edge, but it was too fine of that fielder at short third. That is Pargat Singh at short third, and it was certainly too fine of him to his left. 3 consecutive 4s with 1 ball remaining here in over number 5.
Yeah, very good from the captain. This is exactly what he has asked his team to do in the power play. Asked them at the toss. He said he wants them to be more aggressive because they've got depth. Just over again. Got a hand to it. This is 3 chances now put down for Canada, and they're not helping themselves in the field.
So
End of 5, 59 for none.
that is the 4th consecutive over where a boundary scores off of the last ball. And again, didn't mean it to go here, Monak Patel. Thick outside edge, flying away to the left of that fielder at short third. Flying in that direction. Navneet Dhaliwal not able to, in fact, he did get a hand on it, but could not put it away. Expensive over. 16 coming from over number 5. Canadians are giving up a lot of runs here. 59 without loss.
Uday, jump over. Mid off. Pala! Adi.
55 runs from the last 4. It was a good start to the power play by Canada. First over went for just 5. Since though, it's been carnage from the USA. Stephen Taylor, as dominant as he's been a spectator in this partnership. And Nicholas Curtin into the attack now, so Barbadian off spinner did get Taylor out in that last game. Caught that short fine leg. So another option, spinning the ball away from the left-hander.
Get it.
And there was almost another chance.
One heli.
That short fine leg position, but just fell short. And again, I wonder if they're just playing the matchup a bit too much. You tend to see this sometimes in T20 cricket, Brian, where you've got a good bowler, you've got one of your best bowlers, but he's not bowling because of that left-handed presence at the crease. Saad bin Zafar surely must back himself. They're going at 11.5 runs per over, and we haven't seen the captain yet.
Well, when you're giving up 2 runs for every ball, almost any bowling change will be better than what you have going right now. And I think I agree with you to the extent that you have one of your best bowlers. It doesn't matter whether he's bowling to a lefty or righty. You really do have to bring yourself on.
Oh, catch it. Keeper!
Gets home safely in the end. There's one thing you can say, the intent in this series, the running between the wickets, it's gone up to another level. Patel has spoken about it at length building up to this series, Brian. The fact that they've got guys like Corey Anderson, who we haven't seen yet, but
Nice,
the added options that they've brought in now with Van Scattervik, Harmeet Singh, 2 out-and-out bowlers who offer a lot with your finishing. Oh, that is top class. Really good from Stephen Taylor.
Offered a little bit of width. Stephen Taylor does not need an invitation to play that shot. It was full and it was wide. You cannot bowl that length and that line with no protection in the deep. Still only 2 fielders outside the circle, and to the extent that you have to be very specific with where you have your fielders, boy, that does not give you much room for error. And that ball racing away, yet another boundary. 65 runs on the board, halfway through over number 6.
Full again, this time on the leg side. This is Stephen Taylor. This is the man we know. He has been destructive to start. It's gone all the way for 6.
Yeah, that time the line was too straight from Nicholas Curtin. From around the wicket, slanting the ball into the pads. That asks for trouble in most instances, and certainly for somebody like Stephen Taylor, this is meat and drinks. Look at this, slanting in, going down the leg side. No risk whatsoever in that shot. Stephen Taylor helping himself to his first 6. He's now up to 31 from 15 with 5 4s and that 1 6 that you just saw. Carnage on the way here at Prairie View.
Come, Credo.
Similar area, similar result. They have made full use of the power play and these fielding restrictions.
Oh my goodness. 1 ball remaining in over number 6, and there are 77 runs on the board. Look again, a similar delivery, slanted in from around the wicket. This was even straighter than the previous delivery, and no protection out there in the deep. Easy runs for the taking here for Canada. My apologies, for the U.S. And with 1 ball remaining, the U.S. is actually scoring at the rate of 13.2 runs and over. Absolute carnage. And as of right now, Nikhil, that 13.2 and over projects to a score of 264. I don't think they'll get that far, but they're on target here for a tremendous, tremendous first innings total.
Yeah, a couple of things here, and just to the point I was making at the beginning of the over, Brian, Monarch Patel believes with the 2 additions that they've made, you have more depth to that batting. So in the past, they've had to be a bit cautious in the top. In the power play especially, he wants them to be fearless. They have enough batting that even if they lose a few wickets early, he believes they can recover. And credit to him because he's led from the front with his own batting, the captain. Now, last 3 deliveries have all gone to the boundary. Can Curtin finish the over? Yeah, tugged again, leg side. In front of square this time. He's toying with the field, Stephen Taylor, into the 40s. He goes. The USA have got to 81 after the power play, one of their biggest in international history. 81 for 9.
22 runs coming from that over number 6, the biggest of the lot so far. Switches, goes over the wicket to the left-hander, does not make a difference. Drags it in that gap between long on and mid-wicket for yet another boundary. That is the end of over number 6, 81 without loss.
Over. Coming right arm over.
Happy looking
Johnson needs some physio.
USA dugout. They'll be very happy with the strides that they've made. Head coach Stuart Law,
On the field. He's going
his first series as head coach of this USA international side, former West Indies and Bangladesh coach. Yeah, we haven't seen those two men centre of screen yet with the ball, Dylan Hilliger or captain Saad bin Zafar.
Go off to do that.
Making a change to Canada because Hilliger bowled in the power play last game. They maybe feel on a surface where it can be on the slower side here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. Those bowlers who can hit the deck are extremely valuable. Hilliger is one of them. So a lot of the boundaries we've seen so far, Brian, have been on the fuller side. Can Hilliger use that short ball well? Haven't seen it too often because they haven't really had the pace to use it.
Dylan Hilliger in the practice matches against the Dallas Mustangs last week had a couple of spells where he looked to be genuinely quick and genuinely dangerous. And he does have the pace. Monank Patel, obviously on his way, he's up to 40 from 19 with 8 fours and a 6. But to your point, most of his boundaries have been down the ground. So do you try to force him to do something different? You're now outside of the power play. So there's a deep square leg. And I would suspect now deep mid-wicket going in position. So it's going to be interesting to see the length that he bowls. I would suggest that it would be on the shorter side because anything to keep Monank Patel from driving down the ground because he's been very, very strong with that type of shot. Dylan Hilliger looking to change that trajectory right now.
Yeah, in that last game, he bowled from the other end, the southern end, from the highway end, and got Monank Patel to drive into the wind, held out at mid-off. So different plan now. In that last game, he bowled at times with a fine leg and backward square and went to the short ball plan. He's only got the backward square. Fine leg is up, right of screen. Starts full. It'll be interesting now to see how the USA go about the middle overs because they've got the platform, they've got 10 wickets in hand. And in that last game, we saw Monank Patel continue to accelerate even in the middle overs after they had gotten a good start. They're setting a total now.
It's interesting because obviously your batting theory is different if you're batting second because you know what the target is that you're going after. I'll say more about that after this.
Slash 2 point. There is protection though.
So when you're batting first, you've gotten through the power play. There's 82 runs on the board after that single. You're to the point now with 10 wickets in hand, you only have another 82 balls remaining. So you can bat with a certain amount of freedom. So I don't anticipate that they would change their approach at all. So for me, Canada is up against it here because they need, first of all, to slow the scoring rate. It's still over almost 13 runs and over. And it's going to be up to them to see how they can restrict this pair from doing what they're doing at the top of the order.
Full toss. They have been so full today, Canada. It's been really surprising in terms of the length. They've missed badly. And credit to the USA, they've capitalized in a massive way.
Very full. Actually ended up being a low full toss. And wicketkeeper Srimanta Wijeratne coming all the way down to have a conversation with Hilliger. I think they need to decide exactly how they're going to use Hilliger because, as we mentioned, he has pace and he can attack with short balls. But everything he's bowled so far in this over has been on the fuller side. That last one, the low full toss that was drilled away through the covers. So you're not necessarily making the best of the opportunities right now, Canada. 86 runs on the board halfway through over number 7.
Oh, full again. Similar result this time though, well fielded by Harsh Thakur. It's surprising really, especially when you look at the nature of Dylan Hilliger, the type of bowler he is. He hits the deck quite hard and he gets a few to skid on, especially on a two-pace surface. like we've seen at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. The first 4 deliveries have been very full. Only one of them has actually touched the pitch.
I completely agree with you. It's mystifying to me. Again, we spoke at length about how aggressive he can be with the short balls. Don't quite get the theory as at this stage.
And now goes short to Patel. And this is a chance. It falls into no man's land though, but again, first time we've seen any real use of the pitch today, and it's brought results.
That would give you some indication of the pace of Dylan Haliger. Bending his back and definitely beating Monank Patel for pace. Look at this delivery, up around his face, and really just skying a pretty fortuitous shot. Luckily for him, it landed in no man's land, but that's what I was expecting when you brought on Dylan Haliger.
Goes back full, and it's fine enough to beat that man at wide deep third position. Been interesting, the tactics from Canada so far. Ends the 7th with a boundary. 93 for none.
93 for none. Outside edge again, racing past, piercing the gap between short third and the keeper. Nikhil, there have been 7 overs bowled, and every single one of them, with the exception of one, has ended with a boundary off the last ball. 93 without loss.
Sadiq.
Yeah, 93 for none. Now joining us, toss was won by Canada. Overcast conditions here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. They chose to bowl first, but that has backfired. Usually it's quite a tough surface to start on. Credit though must go to the ground staff because it's been a belter. It looks like a quite placid trap. There is a bit of that live green grass on the surface, so will offer something in it for the spin. Did see a bit of swing in those first couple of overs, but again, still no Sadbin Zafar, the captain. I wonder if he's just trying to survey his options. Of course, while they want to win this series, Canada, they also want to experiment, find their best combinations, guess put guys in different situations going into that T20 World Cup.
I don't know necessarily that would have been the thinking, because more than anything else, winning is a habit. And in order for you to put yourself in the position to sort of accelerate towards the World Cup here, opening match between the US and Canada at the Grand Prairie Cricket Stadium, you'll want to start sort of get yourself in the situation where you're practicing winning habits. You don't quite see it just yet.
One thing I think the USA will look to do in this series, I think just with the injuries to Canada, Kaleem Sana is a massive miss. He's been enforcing the middle overs to back end overs for Canada for a while. Because they're missing those, it's a weakened bowling lineup. I just wonder, Brian, if the USA, yes, they want to win the series, and if they can win today, they'll be in a really good position to do so. But can they hold themselves to a higher standard where even if maybe they're chasing 140, 150 in games, they can still go out and try to simulate chasing 180, 190? Because against Ireland, against India, against Pakistan, if they want to challenge those teams, they're going to have to be at their best consistently.
Sadi. Towards the turf.
You get the sense that on Sunday they didn't even get out of second gear. Didn't have a lot of work to do chasing 132.
Ah, yes!
To force this one off the back foot, Stephen Taylor gets one in an uncomfortable situation. Less said about that, the better. But it will be interesting to see what their best looks like. Haven't had to be at their best yet, but so far looking very good today.
Oh, yes, Hashi.
End of that 8th over. And they're flying the USA, 97 for none. One change for the United States today. They've brought in Nisarg Patel, who's an all-rounder, bowls left-arm spin. Take a look at this 11 though, Brian. it'll be interesting when Ali Khan returns from injury, how he fits into this 11, but they're still trying to find their best 11 with new guys like Andreas House, Milind Kumar, Nosh Kenjige, who made his debut. Jesse Singh has only played 10 T20 internationals, so it's going to be really interesting in this series and the Bangladesh series on how short law works, different combinations to try and find that best 11 when the World Cup comes around.
You have several different options, both from the standpoint of spin versus pace, from the standpoint of right armers versus left armers. There's a plethora of left-handed bowlers. We talked about the left-arm spinners earlier. Didn't mention Saurabh Netravalkar, who you could probably argue is the most successful pace bowler in the history of the USA cricket, left-arm pacer.
And that will be a half century for the captain. And what a series he's having. Before this series, 20 T20 internationals without a 50. In the last 2 games, he's got 2. And he's led from the front, led by example, Monank Patel.
Very good start. Obviously a long way away from being finished, but striking it at the rate of almost 200. 50 from 26 with 9 fours and a 6. So tremendous batting from the captain. And again, the more he does what he's doing right now, the easier it becomes for the players who come afterwards. Andreas House, you mentioned, I'm really looking forward to seeing him bat when he comes in with no real pressure, because you're essentially shortening the game from here.
That is big, that is huge. Massive from Stephen Taylor as he gets to a half century as well. This has been dominance from the United States and their openers.
Oh my goodness, his teammates are applauding because he gets to 50 in about the most impressive way possible. Planting that front foot, this ball was a little bit too full and drilled right down the ground. Parveen Kumar getting that one just a little too full. And Stephen Taylor, who is very tall, has a long reach. Look at where this ball lands. Didn't necessarily need to move his feet to get to this one, but just right through the line, hammering it right back over the head of the bowler for a tremendous strike. 4 sixes and 16 fours so far, and the US is absolutely off to a flyer. 104 runs on the board, and you're 2 deliveries into over number 9. This is truly, truly carnage. Scoring at the rate of 12.48, and it's going to take a really special job from Canada here to pull things back.
Chance this time maybe. It is with the wind, but it's not long enough. And Stephen Taylor, you don't discredit him for trying to go on and kick things on, but he finds Dhaliwal at that long off boundary. And the left arm spinner dismisses the left-hander. It's always sometimes tends to work against you, your strength. Taylor gone.
Well, I think you'll find that this one wasn't quite as full as the previous delivery, and so it hits just a little bit higher up on the bat. Stephen Taylor has a lot of power, but this one striking the bat just a little bit higher. It also helps that the action was from around the wicket, slanting that ball across him, so not quite getting the leverage that he wanted to. A pretty simple catch in the end by Dhaliwal, but Stephen Taylor did a lot of damage when he was there. 54 from 24 balls, 7 fours and 3 sixes. First wicket falls, and it will be Andreas House, who I mentioned earlier, who's now coming in, batting, I would think, with a certain amount of freedom at the fall of the first wicket.
50 seconds.
Andreas House got a 50 on debut, T20 international debut in the last game. Yeah, it's so ironic, Brian. It always happens in T20 cricket where you tend to shield your left arm spinner from the matchup. And the first time he's brought into the attack, Kumar goes for a 6, then next delivery, because Taylor wants to maximize that matchup, he's caught on the boundary. He'll be disappointed, Stephen Taylor, because he's hitting with the wind. A very strong southerly wind. But in the end, pulls out. And sometimes you can almost use your strength as your weakness if you're in opposition. So they've got that desired wicket. They've also got slip in place now for House. 2 right-handers at the crease.
As I said, the fact that he went around the wicket, Parveen Kumar, to slant the ball across makes a big difference. Yeah, even to the right-hander, as they come back for 2, even to the right-hander from around the wicket, it exaggerates the angle a bit more, because when that ball then spins,
almost seems like it's doing a lot more than it would if he's coming over the wicket. So probably the better approach. Kumar on debut. Very wide of the crease that time. You saw Nosh Kenjige on a different surface, bowl very slow, the left arm spinner, and get the ball to spin, really gripped in the surface. Haven't seen too much spin as yet.
Yep.
They've also bowled so full, we haven't really seen, or they haven't even allowed the ball to spin yet. Yeah, better. Much improved over. They've got the wicket that they've desperately needed, Canada. 106 for 1.
Pinne. No shot back. Eli! Bala!
5 options used for Canada so far. Seamers have been expensive. Going
Eli!
at above 10 and over. Nicholas Curtin, 1 over, went for 22. Stephen Taylor took him apart. The off spinner, part-time option. Yeah, now time for the captain, Saad Bin Zafar. This is a good matchup for him as well. He's dismissed Monak Patel twice in T20 international cricket. And they've got 2 right-handers at the crease, so will spin the ball away.
Catch it!
And could this be a chance straight away?
Bowler!
It doesn't carry, but see things happening last couple of overs. And with the want to push things on continuously, want to enhance their middle overs approach, you will be in the game in terms of taking wickets, because they will come at you, the USA, with the start that they have.
Certainly.
Nice, Adi.
I expect that Andreas Kraus will take a couple of deliveries, maybe an over or so, to get settled, but then he is very aggressive. You know the type of batter he is, and so you expect for him to continue along that vein.
I tell you, Shamanta Wijanaratne, he's so loud with the appeals. I know every time he appeals, he's waking up everyone up at home.
Nice, Adi.
Surely us in the commentary box, but
Tell you what, the fact that there's stump mics in play right now, it sort of exacerbates what you just said.
yeah, this time too wide, and this is where he was put away in the last game, Bin Zafar. Every time he strayed from that stumps line, he was dispatched into that square boundary.
Bounced over.
Yeah, he will tell you that this one is just entirely too short and too wide. We've seen Canada, the Canadian bowlers, miss their lines and their lengths a fair amount today. This one, again, outside the line of off, cut away without much fuss. You don't bowl those types of deliveries to a man who's on 56 from 29 with 10 fours in the 6.
He's known for his aggressive nature, Saad Bin Zafar. He's constantly attacking the stumps, the very straight line. So been surprising really to see him in these first 2 T20 internationals go away from that discipline. I think the only times he was struck for a boundary in that first game was when he went wide of the stumps.
Sadi.
Left armer certainly having the option of turning the ball away from the 2 right-handers is something that you'd be banking on, but that doesn't work as well if you're starting out as wide of the crease as that one that went away for 4 did. That last delivery knocked on the ground for a single, more like what he wants to have happen.
Bowling.
I think that is the line he wants to start at least, because he's got 3 deep leg side, so it gives him protection for a much straighter line, and of course with the ball spinning allows him to still challenge the outside edge or the top of off.
Oh, yeah.
And much better. Excellent end to the over for Saad Bin Zafar. And decent, they'll take that, Canada. Just 8 from Bin Zafar's first. End of 10, halfway stage. 114 for 1, USA on top. Time for drinks.
You want slip still? For this guy?
I don't need him.
You sure for this guy? No.
No. अगली गेंद भी पीछे खेड़दा सामने छिक्का खाना तेनू दसदा पीछे नहीं जाना दोनों नू बहुत तगड़ा तेरे सिर ते खड़ी हो जानी है समझ आई तेनू
Well, welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex. USA and Canada, longest standing rivalry in cricket history, unfolding in this 5 T20 International Series. This one cut. There is definitely some spin on offer. Seeing these last couple of overs, both Bin Zafar and Praveen Kumar, the debutant, have gotten something out of this surface, Brian Walters. Interesting to see then if that dictates the next 10 overs and how Bin Zafar uses his options.
The issue there for Canada, though, is that the U.S. is scoring off of their good balls, and they're not quite building any pressure.
How did that miss the leg stump? The keeper completely lost it. This one didn't spin, probably went on with the arm. Monak Patel completely missed it. Has to hurry. House, he gets there in the end. Get 3.
Well, I believe that this was an inside edge. This replay should give us a sense here. Yeah, thick inside edge. Goes past wicketkeeper Wijeratne. You see that reaction from him, knowing that that easily could have been, had it not been as thick an edge, could have been potentially a wicket. But 3 runs just the same. And as I mentioned, no pressure is being built. So yes, you've seen the odd ball turn, but the U.S. still able to play with a certain amount of freedom.
He really is using the angle well, Praveen Kumar. Bowling from very wide of that crease to these 2 right-handers. Another consideration, of course, when Corey Anderson is back fit, is how do they then use that left-handed option. They've got Stephen Taylor, left-hander, but if you look at the next batters to come, this is a chance. 2 under it. Again, it falls safely. Monak Patel, I tell you, it's been his day. Was dropped on 22. Couple of deliveries have gone straight up in the air, but they've fallen in safe land. This has been lucky for him to start.
Wow. Landing in no man's land. Thick top edge. Harsh Thakur not quite able to get to that one.
That has been nailed. Again, hitting with the wind. You don't see a lot of spin being bowled from that northern end at the Prairie View Cricket Complex because of that wind factor. And House is onto it in a flash.
Andrew House absolutely nails this. Watch this. It was right in the slot again. Didn't need to use his feet to get to it, and dragging it just maybe from a 4th stump line. High, hard and handsome. Again, elevating the ball in the air will be helped by the wind coming from the south. Yet another 6th, this 5th 6 of the inning so far.
You don't tend to see a lot of spin being bowled from there, Brian, because of that. Like, I don't think House even got that out the middle of the bat, but it just continued to travel. Just slightly shorter this time, better length. But still, they capitalized, the USA. Able to get 13 from the over, 127 for 1.
So Jermaine, physio for
Like, don't get close. The quicker one, go into the wicket. But still, it just sit out. You good there.
Yeah, that's right.
.11 overs done and dusted here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. The USA lost the toss, a different challenge today, having to bat first. They restricted Canada to 137 in that first T20 International, chased it down quite comfortably. Yeah, different challenge today, Brian, but so far they've conquered it. They've been flying, gone at pretty much over 10 and over throughout the innings. Canada's challenge now will be how can they keep them to under 200. Does seem like a good surface. Short law, you can see right of screen. Corey Anderson there as well. 2 new faces around this USA setup, 2 very experienced faces. We'll be hoping to bring a lot for that T20 World Cup.
Nikhil, you talked about 133, which is what they scored chasing on Sunday. 133 for 4. They scored that in 18th over. As of right now, they are in over number 12, and they have 127 runs on the board with 1 wicket down. So this could get out of control very, very easily, bearing in mind that even though they've slowed down in the last couple of overs with the fall of the wicket, but they're still going at the rate of 11.1. In fact, after that single, going at the rate of 11.38 and over. That projects to a score of 228. I don't know that they get to 228, Nikhil, but 200 is definitely on the cards here, and very potential it could be more than that.
Well fielded. The key thing here with the amount of batting that they have is to continue that rate, continue accelerating. Yes, the spin is probably tougher to hit than the pace, but they've got so much batting, the USA, with Jones, Milind Kumar. Even without Gajnan Singh today, you've still got Harmeet Singh, Van Skatvik, and Nisarg Patel, all all-rounders.
Oh, yeah.
So surely at this rate, Brian, they could be looking at 220, even 230, because the surface has been good.
Well, let's just look at what that might look like. They're currently scoring at the rate of 11 and over. If they continue on that same rate, they end up at 222. If they get to somewhere around 10 and over, as this is huge and down the ground for 6. So they have no real motivation to slow down. That's 6 down the ground. If they continue scoring from here, 12 and over gets them to 230. 13 and over if you start thinking about the top end of what their range could be. As you see the replay again, Saad bin Zafar was in the slot and drilled down the ground. But they can get to well in excess of 230 runs because the platform is set for that.
Get it.
This time gone. Saad bin Zafar gets Monak Patel for a 3rd time. And you have to wonder why he didn't bowl at him earlier in the power play maybe, but nonetheless, captain removes captain. It's been a really good knock from Monak Patel, but trying to up the ante, trying to continue that scoring rate, has to depart.
Oh, I tell you, if he plays a full-blooded shot here instead of just trying to force it off the back foot, if he goes full-blooded, goes down the ground, which is where that line would suggest that he'd be playing, I think there's runs there to be had. But he tries to stay leg side and force this away on the offside. Not sure why he chose that particular shot, but that is the end of over number 12. Wicket falling on the last ball of that over, and that gets us to 136 for 2.
Yeah, look at the wicket again. It was flighted, it was full like the maximum. However, the line, he followed Monak Patel. And bin Zafar, the captain, finally getting that crucial wicket. So you've got 2 relatively new batters at the crease as Aaron Jones comes to the middle, the vice captain. But boy, did Canada need that wicket. Now they'll try to restrict this powerful USA batting lineup to under 200. Won't be easy. Still will be the 2 left-arm spinners. Now will be the 5th over in succession where these 2 are into the attack. So left-arm spin from both ends, and because of the amount of right-handers the USA have, no real surprises. Over to you, Andreas House. Short, taken on straight away. Way too easy. Finds the gap. They are 2 deep fielders square on that leg side. Doesn't matter though.
Boy, meat and drinks. Andreas House, no risk in the shot whatsoever. It was short, again, drifting down the leg side, and he did not even play a full-blooded shot. Look at this, really just helping it off of his hips. Slanting in, going down the leg side, and just that's not going to present any problems whatsoever to Andreas House. So starting off over number 13 with a boundary.
You're good.
Yeah, similar approach we saw in that first T20 International from House. He took a few deliveries just to get in. And to be honest, it was not the easiest of surfaces to start on. So he was 15 from 14 in that first game. Then his next 21 deliveries, he scored 35. Here again today, just about run about 12. Once he's in and a platform has been laid, now he can really take over with the boundary finding. And that is it right there. That is colossal. Into the leg side, hitting against the spin, but it doesn't matter. It's gone a long way.
He is a powerfully built man, Andreas Haus. And look at this, dragging this one from right on an off-stump line, as you mentioned, hitting against the turn, but it was so full that it didn't matter, and depositing it into that vacant area over there by west of the ground. It almost landed halfway to my house in Austin. Tremendous, tremendous strike. And again, you're now to the point where you're down to the last 45 balls. Still 8 wickets in hand. What for me is going to be interesting, you mentioned the 2 left armers in action. A couple of lefties left to bat for the Americans. Specifically, I'm thinking of Harmeet Singh and Shadley Van Skalkwyk. Both of them are left-handed batters. Both are very aggressive with the bat. I would want to see if one of them gets a promotion if a wicket falls anytime soon.
We've seen one over of Dylan Hediger, who was the pick of their bowlers in that last game. Canada used the pitch, but today he's been very full. That first over went for 12. Don't think Sad Bin Zafar can continue with Praveen Kumar, especially if House stays at the crease. Now, Aaron Jones, this is a big series for him. Big opportunity for the vice captain. Hasn't really had this luxury before, Brian, where they've got so much batting depth. He's always been that guy in the middle overs who's had to recover and rebuild. It will be interesting to see how he approaches his innings. Didn't get going in that last game. Wasn't many runs to get. I think it was only 9 runs to chase when he came in. But now has got ample time with 7 and some overs to go. A good end to the over, but 11 from it. 147 for 2.
Over it, okay? Sadi! Navi!
There has been a subtle decline since the power play. They got 81 runs, the USA, without losing a wicket in the first 6 overs. Bin Zafar, the captain. His bowling is 3rd over on the trot. Bin Zafar. I wonder if in hindsight they'll look back on it, Brian, and feel they missed an opportunity. Knowing he's gotten Monat Patel out so many times, knows his game well. Maybe if he bowled in that power play, could have gotten him early, but we'll never know. Yeah, Jones takes it on. He's hit it really straight, Aaron Jones. And what a way to get off the mark with a maximum.
Straight down the ground. The first time that this one lands is about 5 yards beyond the ropes. Straight down the ground, as I mentioned. Bouncing and knocking into the side screen. Look at Aaron Jones, the man from your part of the world. Nikhil, born in Barbados, striking it dead straight. Played that off of middle stump and straight down the ground for 6.
He's actually born in the Bronx, in New York, Brian, then moved to Barbados.
Ah.
That's why he's got that USA connection, but he's been such a prolific run scorer for them in one-day international cricket. This will be another challenge for him. Similar to Canada, they've got so many players who have done really well in one-day cricket and now have to try and translate into the shorter format. Jones has been around for a while, but again, he's always been in those tough situations where he's had to rebuild the innings. Now he will have a different challenge with the amount of power they have around him.
What is taking a chance, bowling short to Andreas House there. You see that reaction by Andreas House. His body language tells you that he thinks he might have missed out on one there because he's very, very strong on the pull and he loves those short balls, particularly to the spinners. He might have missed out on an opportunity there.
Minimal dots. That's been something Short Law has been quite vocal about, wanting to limit the amount of dots that they face, especially in the middle after the power play. Rotation of strike has been good. Sixth over of left arm spin on the trot ends. They've scored off every delivery, the USA. 11 from the over, 158 for 2. Yeah, look at the options used by Saad bin Zafar, the captain. He's got one remaining. Could possibly bowl the next over. He's bowled his 3 on the trot. He's going back to Dylan Hilligan now, who's only bowled the 1 over. And again, because they're missing Kaleem Sana and Jeremy Gordon, they don't really have anyone to bowl at the back end of the innings. Could be the why they've kept 3 overs of Dylan Hilligan for the last 5. Starts into the pitch. Really been surprised, Brian, by the use of the surface today. It's been minimal from the Canadians. Thought someone like Helliger, who's known for running in and hitting the deck on a surface that has been on the pretty slow side in the past, I thought you maybe use more bowlers who can sort of hit the deck and be more effective taking pace off the ball.
Right to move up 5.
I agree with you, but you mentioned that you're missing one of your normal death bowlers today. So maybe with Dylan Hilliger probably going to be the one bowling at the death. Remember that first over that he came in and bowled, 5 of his 6 deliveries were very full. Maybe that's sort of in preparation for that spell.
Again into the pitch, and again, tougher to score. First 2 deliveries have been good to start.
You mentioned about Stuart Law making an emphasis for there to be as few dot balls as possible. But 31% of the deliveries that have been bowled in this inning so far have been dots. Usually that number is somewhere around 35, 36%. So, you know, a handful of more runs. It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it does make a big difference.
Yeah, I've seen this a couple times, you know, in the series. Aaron Jones, hope he's okay. It's gone into the grill. But again, that short ball, I think it may have struck him. Hope he's okay. Just on the cheek area. But an aggressive short ball. He has that surprising nature. Hilliger.
I could not agree with you more. You don't want to see anybody hurt. You absolutely don't want to see anybody hurt. But there's that short ball. And you see what happens there. Pitches and then seams in. Comes in off the seam. So that is a brutal delivery. But in the context of you being a fast bowler and having that weapon in your armory, you're not doing justice to your craft if you don't use the weapons that are in your armory. So I certainly don't mind that type of delivery. Yes, if you're a USA fan, you don't want to see your vice captain being hit in the face. But as a fast bowler for Canada, you certainly don't want to just come up and continue bowling full. If you have the pace to bowl a good short delivery, then you're not necessarily living into your craft as a pace bowler if you're not able to do that. And so look at this delivery again, Nikhil. Look how this one sneaks in or snakes in off of the pitch.
I think it may have hit the top edge as well on the way to Jones hitting in the grill. But what I'm trying to say, Brian, is if you have someone that can do this, I think he can be used in the power play. He bowled just the 1 over, the 7th over, but I believe when you've got batters new to the crease, especially someone like Monak Patel, who has been exposed at times against that shorter ball, you can get Hilliger into the attack to challenge you with the hard new ball. His first over was, I think 4 of the deliveries were full tosses, Dylan Hilliger, so you want to find this length a bit more often. Good to see Aaron Jones smiling, seems to be okay and ready to continue.
Well, you and I said it when he came into bowl. That's the type of bowling that you expect. He's very powerfully built, very tall, and doesn't sprint in necessarily with a lot of speed, but he generates a tremendous amount of momentum with his shoulders. Very strongly built in that way. And so he's the type of bowler who you expect to come in and hit the deck hard. Very much evidence of that you saw. And that's what caused us to be in a delay for the last few minutes, because a good fast bowler putting his craft to work. Aaron Jones being reminded of that.
Yeah, he's still got 3 deep leg side, so backward square, mid-wicket in front of square, and then long on. So he's got the option to go to that full Yorker, or he can go again, pace off or pace on, but straight and into the pitch. Has used the 1 bouncer for the over already though, so let's see where he goes. Again, into the pitch. This has been really good. Improved from Hilliger. He's had a great year. Dylan Hilliger, obviously he's played a lot of one-day international cricket. 9 wickets in those 4 ODIs that Canada won earlier this year against the UAE and Scotland. He uses the deck really well, uses conditions well. He's got great numbers, you know, Brian. I didn't notice 37 wickets in 21 T20 internationals, averaging less than 20 with the ball. So he's been that wicket-taking option for them. Yes, he's been expensive at times, but 2 4-wicket hauls in his career, as well as a 5-wicket haul. He could be so pivotal when the T20 World Cup comes around.
There's a number of things that you cannot duplicate. One of them is pace. There's no substitute for out-and-out pace, and he certainly has that pace. And this, for me, is an interesting matchup. He said he's already used the 1 short ball for the over, so he may not bowl another bouncer here, but a man who loves them short is Andreas Kraus. Let's see how he handles this.
It's been good bowling. This is good execution. And we saw similar from Shadri van Schalkwyk in that first game, where he set a field and was able to just execute exactly to that field. So 3 deep leg side to these 2 right-handers, went short a couple of times. Now he has protection for that full and wide delivery like we just saw. 3 runs from the over. Been their best over of the innings so far, but he has to finish well. He can't do that. It has been deposited. He left mid-off up in the circle. Too easy for Aaron Jones. It's gone all the way for 6. Showing us a different side to his game. The vice captain, 167 for 2.
Oh my goodness. Again, the 1 bouncer has already been used, so you're not expecting another short delivery, but this one is in the slot. And staying leg side is Aaron Jones and lofting it over the top of extra cover all the way for 6. Really, look at the strike. Just from he plays this one, staying intentionally leg side and just elevating it over the top of extra cover. I say extra cover, it's more over the top of long off, but either way, a brilliant strike for 6.
Yeah, one thing to look at here, I think he missed his line, Dylan Hilliger, because he left mid-off up in the circle. Probably wanted to go to that length, maybe a touch shorter, but because it's so wide outside off, it's too easy for Jones. And again, hitting with the wind from that end. So really good end to the over. The USA continue to score, and they're now into the last 5. How many can they get? 2 20s on the cards.
My friend Bruce Nicholas just sent me a message saying that he believes 240 is on the cards. See how far we get, Bruce. For them to get to 240, they need to go at about 15 and over from here. But they do have 8 wickets in hand. A very aggressive batter at the crease. And the man who is on the other end, Vice Captain Aaron Jones, you know, also has full license. So let's see exactly what they're able to do from here.
A good start for Bhagwan Singh. When you look at this team, Brian, the makeup of this USA team with the new faces that they've added, think about that T20 World Cup with Ireland, Canada, and then, of course, India, Pakistan. Where do you see that team finishing, or can you see them competing with those full member nations in Ireland, Ireland, India, and Pakistan especially?
India and Pakistan, I would say you would have to all out answer after this. Tries the scoop, doesn't work. But you would have to say that on balance, India and Pakistan would have to be at less than their best to be beaten by the US. I think that that's not a statement that would be offensive. But this US team, particularly if they play well, I think would be above Canada, and I certainly think would be able to compete stride for stride with Ireland.
He's hit it so straight. It's all about the placement on this shot because he wants him to hit down the ground into the wind. But House is able to clear both that long on and long off fielder. He has shown us so much in this series already, Andreas House. What a start to international cricket.
Brilliant strike down the ground again, dead straight, getting it between long on and long off. And you're right, the field is set for this type of shot because long on and long off are back on the boundary. But look how straight he gets this. Straight down the ground and landing probably just a foot short of the boundary, but the placement is what was the key there.
Oh, that has been Crunch, shot of the day. Just latched onto the length so quickly. And these are worrying signs for Canada. It's gone all the way for a maximum as well.
I mentioned earlier, Andreas House is one man that you do not want to bowl short to. Unless you're bowling short with real pace, and I mean Dylan Haliger pace or faster, he will absolutely feast on these types of deliveries. And that short ball did not get up nearly enough to threaten the batter. Andreas House jumping all over that one and getting his second six of the day.
He's missed 3 deliveries in the over when they've been on that 5th stump line. Tried to go with that scoop over short third, didn't get it. Now he's trying to go through extra cover. There is a big gap there through extra cover. There's only the deep point fielder as well as long off. So because they've packed the leg side, there is real estate on the offside if he's able to get it there. Miscued. Doesn't carry though. I think the key thing is against better bowling lineups, Brian, can they continue to play this way? More after the over. 178 for 2.
Rishi, how many you have? Okay, let's go.
Skip 2 overs. Keep going.
We've had 16 overs here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex in Houston, Texas. United States of America trying to win the second T20 International between these two teams. Won the first one comfortably, and they're well set. 16 overs we've had, Brian. 10 of them have gone for 10 or more.
10 seconds, Skip. 10 seconds. 10
A
seconds.
tremendous start here for the Americans. The run rate is 11.13. How often have you seen a T20 innings where the entirety of the innings, with the exception of the first over, the run rate has been above double figures? And so they're certainly on target for a big finish here. 8 wickets in hand going into the last 24 balls. I think north of 200 is certainly what you could expect.
Starts well, bowling that wide Yorker, executes well. Joshi back into the attack. I wonder how he sets up Hilliger now, because Hilliger's got 2 left, so probably will bowl the 18th and 20th. And who bowls the 19th? Is it Bhagwan Singh, who just went for 11, or maybe Captain Saad bin Zafar? Again, though, he's quite limited in his options because of those absences. And I wonder if Canada will go back after this series to the drawing board and try to find maybe an attacking option that they can use in the middle overs, because the second time in this series now where they've struggled to take wickets.
Boy, you mentioned Saad bin Zafar. Does he bring himself on towards the back end of this innings? It would be a really big roll of the dice.
Apologies for that. It's I think put down on that deep point boundary. Apologize for that. We will show you on the replay though.
Yeah, Pargat Singh not exactly judging that one well, and I think had he judged that well off the bat, he could have come in and taken a catch around knee height. But I think he lost track of it and only able to parry that one away to keep it from bouncing past him on the way to the boundary. But again, this pair you'd expect would be playing with a certain amount of freedom from here.
Goes wide Yorker again. It doesn't carry, but the execution has been a lot better in these last 2 overs from Canada. Haven't done themselves any favors though. You've got a weakened bowling lineup. You produced 3 chances. And you've dropped all of them. They dropped Monat Patel on 22 in the power play. Went on to get 60. Now you're dropping Aaron Jones. Could be very crucial in the complexion of this innings. .180 for 2 score in this 17th over. This time though, he's got that out the middle of the bat. It's gone a long way. Andreas House, his 4th maximum of the day. And it's gone to a 2nd consecutive half century in T20 international cricket for the South African. What a start to his career for the USA.
Andreas House jumping all over this one again. He's very strong, square of the wicket, but on this occasion, absolutely nailing this one down the ground. Look at this. Advancing down the track just a step, maybe let's give credit to the batter that time. Wasn't a bad delivery, but the fact that he advanced down the track meant that he was able to take that on the half volley and going big again for his 4th 6 and brings up his 50 in only 30 balls, and he still has more damage to do.
Yeah, first 10 deliveries, he was only 12. So, again, you're seeing batters today, and I remember he's batting at 3 and he came in outside the power play. He gave himself a chance. He's just able to get in, just acclimatize the conditions. And once he was set, found the boundary regularity. 4 maximums, just the 2 boundaries. Full and wide, full and wide. Doesn't carry again, but House certainly thought he was gone. Good execution though from Joshi. This is the 3rd time in the over he's gone to that full and wide plan, and it's worked.
Good execution from Joshi. I don't know that if I were Joshi, I would not want for my fielder at long off to come charging in for that one, because it's certainly at this level, half chances have to be taken. Not quite committed to going for the catch there, the fielder coming in from long on. And it does mean that Andreas House continues batting, now Aaron Jones on strike.
Yeah, he'd be happy with this. Joshi, first 2 overs have been expensive, but the execution at the back end has been very good. Over going for 11. 189 for 2.
Last over? Last over?
17
Receive.
Yeah, we've had 17 overs in the Prairie View Cricket Complex. Take a look at this bowling card. We'll come back to it. Bhagwan Singh returning. This is surprising though, Brian, because I thought Dylan Hilliger would bowl his quota of 4. Because Bhagwan Singh has bowled this over, it means that Hilliger can only bowl 3. So it still begs the question, who will bowl the other one? Will it be Bhagwan Singh again? He's bowling his 4th now, so it can't be him. But potentially Joshi. That last over was a good one. Even though it went for 11, showed good promise with that wide Yorker. He's tried that. He's tried it. This time he finally is able to nail it. They've kept 3rd in the circle for Andreas House, and he's tried it a couple of times. Finds the boundary. Good innovation.
Andreas House with that scoop. Nobody in the deep on the leg side. You see him just get inside the line. In fact, not quite getting inside the line, but it's the hand-eye coordination for me that makes that successful. Short 3rd inside the boundary, short fine leg inside the boundary. Not much risk in that shot. And modern day players who play that shot with ease. We're now 6 away from 200. So I guess that will answer the question, Nikhil, as to whether or not we'll be going north of 200. Certainly think north of 200 is on the cards. Maybe we get all the way up to 230. If they go 12 and over from here, that takes you to 228. It'll be interesting to see if they can get that far.
Yeah, with this field, I think he definitely wants to be shorter, on the shorter side as opposed to the fuller side, because he's opting to have that deep point as opposed to deep third for House and for Jones. It then means that you can't really stray too full because you can be scooped. If you go shorter, you've got protection on both sides, leg side and offside left of screen. Maybe pace off and wide. Oh no, he goes Yorker, bluffs him, and he nails it to perfection. I tell you, Joshi and Bhagwan Singh have gone for runs in this series, but one positive for Canada will be the execution at the back end in these last couple of overs.
That is a great delivery. The ball pitches essentially on the popping crease. Look where this ball pitches. Absolutely dead on straight on the popping crease. You cannot bowl a better Yorker than that. That is brilliant bowling at the death.
This time goes into the pitch. Should just be one.
Watch.
After he found those two maximums early, Aaron Jones, he's hasn't found the boundary since. It's been tough as well because House has had most of the strike. Always tough. It's something I'm curious about, how batters, even though you're at the crease but you're not facing many deliveries, can just lose rhythm. Again, very good bowling to the field, using the pitch. They were 167 for 2, USA, at the 15th over. So they've only conceded 40 runs, Canada, with 2 overs to go.
Well, if the overall innings scoring rate is 11.05 and you're now in over number 18, 1 ball to go and only 8 runs have scored from that, on balance, you're doing better in this over than you've done for the entire game. And you're bowling to 2 batters with full license. So for me, that speaks to the execution that you're seeing here from Rashid Joshi.
Very good. Excellent execution. Just 3 runs from the last 4 deliveries of that over. 197 for 2. Yeah, 2 overs to go. 12 deliveries remaining in this innings. How many can the USA get? And wide Yorker again. Wide plan to House. This time taken. Sad bin Zafar. That is an outstanding effort. They've dropped 3 catches today, but they've taken the hardest one. House departs.
Sad bin Zafar sprinting back from his position at short extra cover. It was going to be over his head. He's not a very tall man, so he doesn't have very long arms, but he did the hard work to catch up to that ball. Never easy catching a ball over your shoulders, but he sprinted far enough to get there in that dive at the end. Here we'll see on the replay. Wide Yorker, you nailed it, Nikhil. Exactly the type of delivery that he was looking to bowl. And look at that dive and that catch, scooping it up just a couple of inches off the ground for the 3rd wicket. That is the end of Andreas House, 57 from 36 with 3 4s and 4 6s. And USA into the 19th over, now 197 for 4.
Yeah, it just seems like when Canada have gone to the defensive, it's worked. They frustrated the 2 at the crease by denying boundaries. That full and wide plan really worked well. It's worked well in the last couple of overs. House missed a few, and then finally they get the breakthrough. So food for thought in the next games in these series. Maybe they can go to the defensive a bit earlier. Searched a lot for wickets, missed their length a lot today. It brings Shadi Van Scattervik.
You're coming left him over.
Was very good with the ball in the first T20 International.
Left him over.
And he's known for his finishing ability, the depth he's provided. So on a normal day, you may have seen Milind Kumar or Nisar Patel, but Van Scattervik coming up the order to showcase some of that power hitting. Left-handed option as well. Off the mark straight away with a boundary, making it look very easy. Shadley Van Scattervik, what a way to start your international career with bat.
I mentioned Shadley Van Scattervik earlier when I was talking about the potential of bringing either him or Harmeet Singh in. He does get the promotion ahead of Harmeet Singh and drills this one down the ground. He's a right-arm fast bowler, but he's a left-handed batter. And drilling this one right down the ground, gets off the mark in style with a boundary.
Yeah, and I think they'll be disappointed, Canada, with the planning, because when you're bowling full from that end, because of that wind factor, you have to be wide, like we saw to Gauss. Anytime you're straight, it's just too easy. The ball flies down the ground.
By the way, with that strike, we're now up north of 200. So now with 10 deliveries remaining in this innings, you get to the point where you score 2 off of every ball. If you get to a scoring rate of 12, that puts you around 221 for the innings, which would be tremendous. And the U.S. has really, really looked strong, the top order here, and this pair will be batting with a certain amount of freedom.
2 is the call straight away. Just be 1 though.
1's good.
And when they do come out to bat Canada, a lot will be on the shoulders of Aaron Johnson. They've relied heavily on him. He's been very successful for them, Canada. But they'll need him to be at his destructive best. 2 T20 international hundreds. Averages over 50 in international cricket. With this score, a mammoth total, they'll have to get a good start.
Right ball.
Yeah, you can see the intent, trying to go full and wide again. That time just too wide.
You mentioned Aaron Johnson, just a tremendous striker of the ball, and he, I think you're exactly right, is going to be key for Canada being able to threaten this total.
Wide again, is it? Yeah, wide given. Wonder what he was
Eventually.
thinking about there, the umpire. I think maybe he was asking whether about the height, if it was maybe over the waist or maybe it didn't land on the pitch, but it was extremely wide.
Probably more so whether or not it landed on the pitch. I don't think there was any danger of that being above waist height. But certainly a couple of wides. Not many extras bowled. That was just the 3rd wide in the innings, and those are the only 3 extras so far.
Yeah, I must say these are 2 younger bowlers, Bhagwan Singh and Joshi. But Canada will take a lot from the last couple of overs that they've bowled. The execution has been good at the back end. They're known for their swing bowling with the new ball, but I think they've been more impressive at the back end, where they've just set a field, pat the offside for that wide plan, and they've stuck to it. Jones shot 2 6s early, but since they've been able to contain him, he's still at the crease though. 3 deep leg side, so possibly pace off into the pitch, maybe at the body of Van Scattervik. He goes full but straight.
Lovely, Harshi.
Just 1.
Again, good bowling. Looking now for the last 7 deliveries of the innings. Overall run rate is 10.9. But 9 from this over with 1 ball to come, 8 from the over before that. And so you've actually had a couple of overs where you've decelerated the pace at which the Americans were going. Still have a big chase coming up ahead of them, but these bowlers are doing well at the death.
Again, full and wide. Well placed by Jones, but they do have the protection. This has been really good from Joshi and Bhagwan Singh. End of 19 overs, 207 for 3.
Calm, Heli. Good finish, huh? Sit down.
Yeah, just 1 over to go. At one stage, the USA were set to get maybe 230, 240. They've pulled things back well, Canada. Definitely have given themselves a chance. If they can get a good start in the power play, they'll be well on track to chase this. Been a very good team under Sadbins as far as leadership, Brian. So they have that confidence. Beating teams like Oman. We saw earlier this year they beat Scotland and the UAE in Cricket World Cup League 2. They are missing, though, a few important members, but Dylan Hilliger has been expensive today, but he did bowl that 16th over. He just went for 9. If he can hit the pitch with these 3 fielders deep leg side, they can close off this innings. If they keep them to under 215, they'll really feel that they've got a good chance. It's been a very good batting surface here in Houston. Does have deep point and long on. Starts very short. And wide given in the end.
Well, we talked about the length that Dylan Hilliger was bowling. You'll see on this replay that this ball bounces ahead or above the head of the batter. I have no issue with that call whatsoever. It's going to be wide, judging from where it bounces. And the idea is if it bounces above the head of the batter in his normal standing position, not necessarily in his stance, but in his normal batting position. And importantly, that's also the one bouncer for the over.
This time tugged, leg side. It's quite interesting as well that they get 2, but you look at the field he's got, Dylan Hilliger. Mid-off is in the circle, so with deep third and deep point, and then the 3 on the leg side, he has to bowl short. Really can't afford to be too full because it's too easy. As we saw, Aaron Jones hit him for 6 over mid-off. And that is hitting into the wind, so it's full, but it's leg side. Very straight. Just the 1.
All in all, a good start with the ball despite the wide. So 2 deliveries in. You've conceded 3 runs off the bat. But you're just now, I think, in the first over that he bowled, everything was very full except for 1 delivery. You'd accept a low full toss here just for the purpose of not being able to have the batters get underneath the ball. And I think you see a slight change here as long off is coming in. In fact, long off is about halfway through or halfway off of the ropes, between the ropes and the 30-yard circle. So look to see how Dylan Hilliger chooses to attack Shadley Van Skalkvik here.
He's been crunched. He's gone all the way for 6. He has hit that so well, Van Skalkvik. Yeah, dealing in boundaries, exactly what they want from him in that finishing role.
Well, I may have jinxed Dylan Hilliger. It was a good over until that point, but this is really just a hit-me ball. The left-hander wants this ball bowling over the wicket, just right at his hip, and he just simply clears the front leg and launches it well and truly over mid-wicket. That is 6 number 12 for the innings, if you can believe it. The U.S. is absolutely off to a flyer. 217 runs on the board. And it does mean that whenever they come into bat, the Canadians are going to be essentially looking to score 2 runs a ball from the very beginning of the innings.
Tells you about the margin of error, I tell you, in T20 cricket. I mean, maybe could have been a bit shorter, Brian, but again, that's the plan. You want him to hit leg side into that southern wind. He's got the fielders deep, 3 deep leg side for that shot. Van Skalkvik just too good. 3 deliveries to go in the over. This time goes wide. He put the long off back in place and it changed the plan. Now going across him.
That, for me, is a better option. You don't want the ball to be coming into the left-hander from over the wicket at any stage, but certainly not in the last over. That last delivery was a lot wider and making Shadley Van Skalkvik reach for it. That's the type of action that you want to see from your batter, and you don't want to make it too easy for him to score. A lot of runs on the board. 11 already from the over with the last 2 to come.
Has he got it? Has he got enough on it? Yes, he has. Aaron Jones. It's his third 6. And boy, do they need that, the USA. It's a new phase, new role for him. Finishing the innings. Showing good fortitude, though. Exactly what they would have wanted to finish this over and innings out.
Oh my goodness. Slanted into the batter. And he absolutely nails this. This is a similar delivery to the bouncer that hit him, but this one didn't get up as high. And it only gets up around waist height. Seamed in off the pitch, but only getting up about waist height. And he absolutely nails it over mid-wicket for 6.
Yeah, he absolutely crunched that. It went a long way back.
Yep.
We'll be looking for one to finish the innings. This is now the USA's highest ever international, T20 international score, that is. Only the second time they've crossed 200. Last time they did it was against Singapore back in 2022. This time, pummeled through the offside. Big finish, massive finish. It's gone all the way for 6, we think. What a way to end the over. 230 comes up. 3 6s in the 20th over. And the USA, through their 6-hitting ability, have posted a mama total in the second T20 International.
Width on offer, throwing the bat at him, has absolutely nothing to hold back for on the very last delivery. And he gives him the width. He throws everything at it, and this ball lands again well in the fields to the western side of the field. Tremendous, tremendous innings. Great batting by the U.S. to get to 230 runs with only 3 wickets down. So we're looking at the full scorecard here. Captain Monank Patel getting the thing started off well, 68 from 35. Stephen Taylor, 54 from 25. Everyone got a start. Andreas House, 57 also from 35. Aaron Jones and Shadley Van Skalkvik closing things out to really post a massive, massive total.
23 runs from that last over. Significant in getting to that 230 mark. The bowling, well, the seamers came back well. Joshi and Bhagwan Singh at the back end executed well. The spin was expensive today. And in the end, Dylan Helliger, that last over going for 23. Just the wickets for Joshi and Captain Saad bin Zafar. It means then that Canada, if they are to level the series, will need 231 in return. Don't go too far. We'll be back very soon.
फिर भी
Thank you, brother.
अब तो कुछ
मंगेश भाई आपसे खुशी है यार, हमको क्या प्रॉब्लम है। There's a marker if you need it.
अच्छी लग रही जैसे रन फ्लाई में पावर प्ले पकड़ के डालनी पड़ेगी।
हार्ड है उनको, ये है विकेट अच्छी।
Aaron, you good, brother? Leg. Left him over. Come on, lad!
And welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex here in Houston, Texas. It is the USA and Canada battling in this international series as both teams prepare for the T20 World Cup. They'll play the first match of the T20 World Cup against each other in Dallas. Not too far from here. Brian Walters alongside me. Will be Sarbna Chavalkar with the new ball in hand against Srimanta Vijayanaratne and Aaron Johnson, the Canadian openers. They need 231 to win. Oh, there's quite placid and good batting surface. Here goes the run chase. Almost went on to his stumps. He did get Aaron Johnson in that first T20 International with a similar delivery, short length, but attacking the body.
Sarbna Chavalkar, a really skilled bowler, I mentioned earlier. For me, probably the pace bowler in USA cricket history with the most amount of success. He's very, very skilled, very accurate, not lightning quick, never has been lightning quick at this stage of his career. More relies on his deception, but he can swing it in from that angle over the wicket or go across the right-hander. So look for him to be very difficult to score off of here.
Again, this one attacking the body, but Aaron Johnson, he is a danger man in this run chase. He's got 2 T20 International hundreds. He'll be hoping for another one today. Underway with a maximum.
Well, they need Aaron Johnson to fire. We said that earlier. You saw what happened when he got out cheaply in the first match on Sunday. Here, this one is into his body. Mentioned the slanting across the left-hander, or the right-hander rather. This one does not slant across. This one swings in, and he absolutely jumps inside the line and deposits it over deep backward square leg for the first 6. You'll need several more of those from Aaron Johnson.
This time goes across. Similar result though. He is so powerful. The man from Kingston, Jamaica. Back-to-back maximums.
Now this is, I think, more of a hit-me ball than Chavalkar would want, because it was in sort of a length type of, the length was one that allowed the batter to get underneath it and dragging it from an off-stump line. So consecutive 6s, you need several more of those for the rest of the way, but you don't get to 219 runs, another 219 needed from 117, but you don't get that far without having the type of start that you see Aaron Johnson generating here.
Yeah, if you've watched Aaron Johnson over the years, Brian, his biggest 6-hitting area is leg side. So with that fielder, he's got deep cover in place, Chavalkar, which tells me he wants to bowl wide outside that off stump. That one wasn't wide enough, so he was able to just tug it into the leg side. He's got to probably commit to that 5th stump line and bring that slip into play, or it's going out now. Stephen Taylor is being removed from that slip position. So these are menacing signs early, because I tell you what, if there's any man to chase 230, Johnson could be that guy. So how does the plan change? He's keeping backward square in place, and he's adding an extra fielder leg side, so more protection. Deep mid-wicket in place. He's coming around the wicket. Full again. Mid-on was up, and it will be a couple bounces into the boundary. What a start. What a start for Canada.
Brilliant start. Chavalkar, I think, would want this line to be more outside of off. Look where this ends up. Makes the switch, goes around the wicket, so slanting it into his body. You see a lot of swing, but that swing is into his power stroke. You mentioned that he scores freely on the leg side, Nikhil, and that type of delivery is one that will help him score on the leg side. Swinging in from about a 5th stump line, you appreciate the swing, but you don't want it to be swinging into his strength, because he will hurt you there.
Must say, I'm surprised that they've gone away from the plan so quickly, because while I know at times it can work against a batter, going at his strength and making him constantly have to hit leg side, even if it's a slightly bigger boundary. He's shown so much pedigree on that leg side. Are you better off having a deep fielder offside, trying to bowl to his weakness? Nonetheless, though, it brings Wijenaratne on strike.
The other thing you could continue or consider, Nikhil, is maybe gripping the ball cross seam to not get as much swing, and then keep that or maintain that 5th or 6th stump line. Make him play on the offside, because when the ball swings into him, particularly to Aaron Johnson, again, he's at the non-striker's end now, but he might consider when Netravalkar bowls to Aaron Johnson again to grip it cross seam so it doesn't swing as much and maintain that off stump line.
A lot of movement, inward movement given. Straight away, that angle from around the wicket, deceiving the right-hander. He's gone for 17 in the over, but he's got a crucial wicket, Netravalkar.
Tremendous swing. I mentioned that he's swinging it. It's definitely swinging. On this occasion, you know, Wijenaratne, this is the first ball and second ball really that he's facing. But look at how this one swings in. From around the wicket, curling in, bang on target. The question that Aditya Gajar would have had to answer for himself is, was this one doing too much going down the leg side? In fact, that's, yeah, Aditya Gajar, and I think he finally decides that that one would have kissed the outside of the leg stump.
Yeah, the interesting thing there was it hit him on his front pad. And with that angle from around the wicket, you can see how wide of the crease Netravalkar is. Was that sliding down leg? Ooh. I thought initially it hit him on the back pad, but interesting decision. Nonetheless, it ends the first, and it brings Pargat Singh in at number 3.
Check your leg, please. Thank you.
If you exchange 17 runs for 1 wicket the rest of the way as an American, you win this game pretty handily. So Canadians will feel pretty much hard done by that dismissal. But you have to give credit to the bowler to maintain his discipline and have that ball swinging in. Now again, it's sort of, you have to decide how you want to attack which batter, because that type of delivery that was bowled to Aaron Johnson disappears over the leg side for 6 or 4. But it does catch Wijenaratne on the front leg. And again, there's maybe some doubt as to whether or not that might have shaved the leg stump, but that does not matter. The dismissal is effective. Canada loses their first.
Nice, nice.
Time for Nosh Kenjige was player of the match in that first T20 International. What a start. 3 for 21 in 4.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Picked up some important wickets, Kenjige. And with the amount of right-handers Canada have, you can expect to see him, Nisar Patel, Harmeet Singh, all 3 left-arm spinners. Amazing, really, Brian, that Nosh Kenjige has played 41 internationals and is now only playing his second T20 international. Would have gotten in on the back of good performances. The MLC last year helped MI New York win the tournament. Was very good at the national tournament a couple of weeks ago as well. Went to Dubai earlier this year to play T20 cricket. Keep an eye on the pace that he bowls, depending on the surface. Able to identify the right pace very quickly.
Nice.
Starts quite flat these first 2 deliveries, but in that first game was purposely flighting the ball because the surface was offering something.
Very, very skilled player. You've seen him for the last decade or so representing the U.S. bowling inside the power play.
Yeah, there was an edge. There was definitely an edge there, but never easy, those catches. Aaron Johnson seems to be running a bit gingerly. I know he's had some difficulties with that knee. That second run was not convincing.
Well, watch Aaron Johnson, 45, his back is to you right now. Look at how he's led. Ooh, I'll tell you what, certainly a very thin edge. Monank Patel maybe getting up just a touch too soon. Didn't quite see it there on the replay, but I agree with you. It did look to be moving kind of gingerly.
Run, 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 run.
Chases on. Quite eager to see how Monank Patel shuffles his bowlers in this power play. Netravalkar tends to bowl 2. I wonder if they can maybe squeeze one out of him. Another over in the power play. It's not something they've had the luxury of being able to do before, but they've got added depth at the back end now with Van Schalvik's introduction into the team. I wonder if when the ball is swinging that Travalca can bowl sometimes 3 in the power play because he's so meticulous with the swing. That stayed very low.
Run hard!
He'll get the second. Ends an eventful over. Good one from Kenjige to start though. 4 from it. 24 for 1.
Skip 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah, USA won the first T20 International here in Houston. 5-match series. Some inclement weather around, but thankfully it's just been overcast throughout the day. Hasn't had much of an impact on the surface. Ball has swung early. Saw Travalca in that first over. Let's see what he can extract in this second one. Good start for Canada though. They're well ahead of the rate. The line has been very straight to Johnson with those 2 deep fielders leg side. Has long on for that fuller length, and he's got deep mid-wicket. Sorry, deep backward square correction.
Interesting that he bowled a shorter length that time. I talked about him on the swing that he was getting. Swing was not an offer that time on that last delivery because of the length at which he bowled. It's going to be interesting to see if he continues that same length, because if he's too full to Aaron Johnson, then that's into his power stroke on the leg side.
Just over. Travalca there is long on in place. And it was the 3rd time he's dismissed Shamanta Wijanaratne. Almost had another wicket, that of Johnson. He did dismiss him in that first T20 International.
Leg stump. Left him round.
Interesting, he's going back over. No, he's still around. Sorry about that. Yeah, still around the wicket. So these 2 right-handers. It's well played, delicately played. There is a fielder deep. Yeah, just as Shamanta Wijanaratne, they've played the matchups well in this series, the USA. 3rd time that Travalca's gotten the Sri Lankan out. Once in 1 international cricket, now twice in T20 international cricket. Something that, again, small bites of information that they can use for that T20 World Cup. There's going to be a lot at stake on that game, Brian. Both teams will want to get off to a winning start in the World Cup for many reasons. One being, of course, they're trying to make that next stage. They want to beat each other and then, of course, try to beat one of India or Pakistan along with Ireland.
Catch it.
Inward movement, there is long on. Doesn't get to it though. Hit very straight. Aaron Johnson can be so destructive on his day.
Oh, we talked about it. Canada is going to need a big start from Aaron Johnson here, and he's looked the part so far. I see that swing again, but he's very adept with the ball swinging into him if it's going to be on the fuller side. Whether it's swinging down leg and he can hit toward mid-wicket or square leg, or whether it's ending up on the off stump from outside that off stump and he's hitting down the ground. He is very comfortable with the moving ball. And again, I suggested earlier that it might consider, Saurabh Netravalka might consider gripping it cross seam so that the ball doesn't swing as much. Because if it's swinging to Aaron Johnson, he has proven more than capable of being able to play with the swing.
It was interesting to see Netravalka's reaction too after that boundary. Didn't seem to mind too much. He's got long on in place. Maybe for that shot, wants him driving with an opportunity to dismiss him. Still has that long on fielder as well as backward square as the two outside the circle.
Aaron Johnson might feel that he missed out there. That was a ball that potentially he could score off of. Fine leg inside the circle, and it was slanting down the leg side. So any amount of bat on that, and it really would have raced behind backward square for 4. But Netravalka will take the dots. He's now at the point. And again, big picture. You're needing to score if you're Canada at essentially 2 runs off of every ball. 11.71 and over is your required rate. So only 6 runs have been scored in this over so far. So on balance, you're doing what you need to do here if you're Netravalka.
Excellent, excellent end to the over. Excellent over. That third one from Saurabh Netravalkar. End of 3:30 for 1.
ये लैंड लानी है, उसको ऊपर डालना ही नहीं है।
If you're just joining us, the United States of America, they got their highest ever T20 international score. Just the second time they've been able to cross that 200 mark. Last time they did it, the only time before today was against Singapore in Bulawayo 2022. So a good start to the day for them, but they must continue. Nosh Kenjige. That time much slower in terms of the pace.
Looking at where the runs are going to come from. Aaron Johnson, 22 from 12, 2 4s and 2 6s. Pargat Singh, 3 from 5. So nothing really big happening with the bat from him just yet. Still need exactly another 200 runs for victory.
Was aerial for a split second. Never easy, those catches. Had to dive to his right. Nonetheless, it's a boundary. Very strong to the offside is Aaron Johnson.
Well, it was aerial. The fielder in the covers had just a half chance, maybe passing about a foot away from him, diving away to his right and not able to get to it. Exactly 100 balls remaining and exactly 196 runs to get. If you're Canada, you want those 2 numbers to start converging.
Nice, Nosha.
Persisting with that line, very straight, attacking almost leg stump. Don't want to give him any width, Aaron Johnson. Again, very ginger in terms of that running, so clearly that knee is bothering him. Aaron Johnson could be telling after the power play when there are 5 fielders outside the circle. Curious to see if Monat Patel goes back to Netravalkar. Last over was extremely good, just went for 6 runs, Brian. But something we've seen is he's given him 2 and then saved 2 for the back end. You've got added options today, a plethora of different seam options. Down the track. And well positioned by Pargat Singh. Not a bad delivery from Kenjige. Probably the plan he wanted to execute. Just good innovation from Singh.
So what makes this a good shot is that he skips down the track. Look at this, skipping down the track and meeting this on the half volley and then playing with the turn. That was an elegant shot. Again, up and over, playing with the turn, and nobody in the deep at extra cover. So 4 welcome runs to Pargat Singh.
No.
Thought about second, settled on 1. Decent over. Exactly what they need. 11 from it, 40 for 1. 41 for 1, correction.
Baba.
Second T20 international here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex will be Jesse Singh. So just 2 overs for Saurabh Chavalkar. Monak Patel sticking with his blueprint.
Batsman, right him over.
Singh can get the ball to shape away from the right-hander. Be interesting to see how he fits into this team when Ali Khan is back to full fitness. You almost feel like he has a point to prove in this series. New to T20 international cricket, still Singh. Starts with a dot.
Very similar to Ali Khan. Ali Khan just a touch quicker, but similar types of bowlers. Sprinting in, hitting the deck hard. They can both bowl a good proper Yorker, but both have pace to be able to trouble the batters with short deliveries. And so with, especially as you mentioned, as a right-handed fast bowler, moving the ball, swinging it away from the right-handed batters, something presenting a different element here.
It's been an interesting journey for Jesse Singh. Made his debut all the way back in 2019 for the USA in T20 international cricket, but it's only his 6th T20I, so hasn't been in the team consistently. He's been more preferred, I think, in the one-day international format. It's funny because the last time he actually played T20 international cricket before this series was against Canada, all the way back in 2019 at the regional qualifiers in Bermuda. This time into the pitch, shorter. The man is at backward square, so no deep field on that boundary in front of square. Able to get back for 2.
That shot for me says urgency. And they started off with a flyer, but the run rate has come down just a little bit in the last couple of overs. It's now down to 9.5, and the required rate is up above 12. So essentially, you need to score 2 runs every ball the rest of the way to win this match if you're Canada. But you do have 9 wickets in hand, so you can afford to be very expressive.
White ball.
Hargat Singh batting at number 3. He got 19 in the last game, Brian, but didn't look like he really had any fluency in the innings. 19 from 24 deliveries, but from what I hear in terms of the coaching staff, he's someone that they've identified as the man to bat at number 3. They believe he's got the right balance in terms of attack in the power play, but can also rotate your spinners in the middle overs, with his background being from India, coming from Punjab. It's flicked away. There's the backward square. Yeah, does have some first-class experience playing in India. Made his debut back in 2015 for Punjab. Played a few matches for them before coming over to Canada.
Leg stump.
Oh, you talk about his proficiency with or against spin. You saw what he did a couple of times against Nashkenjiga, using his feet to get down the wicket, to be able to get to the pitch. That's not an easy thing to do against a bowler who is as skilled as Nashkenjiga, but you saw him do it relatively easily. Has some work to do here though. 11 from 12 with 1 boundary. Aaron Johnson, who started out really well, but really hasn't done much in the last couple of overs. 27 from 15, 3 4s and 2 6s.
Such a good option for Aaron Johnson. Anything on length, he's able to put you away into that leg side where he is absolutely dominant. And if he stays there, they'll believe that their chances are very good of winning this game.
The one thing that you do not want to do is go at his body where he can play you away on the leg side. And that length, that ball bounces around stomach height. If it's a genuine bouncer, you want it to be up around head height. And at that length, it's not going to trouble a batter who has the skill of Aaron Johnson. Just easily turning on that one. And again, we've seen a number of balls go into that vacant field over there west of us here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex, field number 5. Aaron Johnson is essentially the type of batter who can cash in on those types of deliveries. Jesse Singh has some work to do here to pull things back.
Interesting area as well, where he's hitting those boundaries. Not the fullest of deliveries, he's still hitting it down the ground. Seen a lot of boundaries come leg side today.
How was that? How was that?
Definitely height is the problem there. They'll be happy with that. Canada, last overs, they've got 11 from each of them. End of 5, 52 for 1.
That was not right. Huh? That was right.
Just looking at the replay, let's see what the complaint was here. Yeah, that's bouncing. That actually missed the batting pad, hit the thigh pad. Jesse Singh appealing in vain, and I think that's a good decision by umpire Aditya Gajar. End of 5, 52 for 1.
Yeah, man. Just run, just run. Okay, okay. Left.
Yeah, 5 overs done and dusted.
Thank you.
Canada trying to chase 231 to level the series. Aaron Johnson, they've been successful the last couple of years, this Canadian team, in T20 international cricket. He's been at the forefront with his dominance. Couple of T20 international hundreds, one against Oman, one against Panama. And he'll be searching for something similar in this second T20I. Shadley Van Schalkwyk bowled very well in that last game, particularly with the older ball. Has the challenge of bowling in the power play, bowling this 6th and final over. Starts well. You can just frustrate Johnson with the running between the wickets, because clearly that knee is bothering him, Brian. I wonder how it impacts him when you have 5 fielders outside the circle and the boundaries decrease.
Well, 2 thoughts. One, you've heard the phrase, beware of the wounded batsman. And if he cannot sprint through for 1s and 2s, that leaves him no option but to do what he does best, which is hit big. And I'll get to my second point after this ball. You mentioned how well Shadley Van Schalkwyk bowled in the first match. On Sunday, he bowled 4 overs, 2 for 19 with an economy rate of 4.75. So that is brilliant bowling. And what I noticed with him was that his subtle changes of pace. Goes pace off, goes into the pitch, or sometimes bowls it fuller. But he's a difficult bowler to sort of attack because he changes the pace at which he bowls very, very effectively. Very skillful bowler from that standpoint.
That has been creamed over backward square for 6. Aaron Johnson, he's in a no-nonsense mood. Y'all Jamaicans are dangerous, Brian. You have to get the laugh at least once today.
If you want something done well, Nikhil, you call it Jamaican. Look at this one. It's slanted into the body. And he really just played a bit of an awkward shot. It was bouncing in an area that would have caused him some discomfort, but he gets enough bat on it, it flies away over square leg for 6.
Yeah, the key thing there was pace off, and you saw it didn't really rise. I wonder if that will tell Monak Patel something about the way he goes throughout this innings. Pace off the ball may be the way to go on this surface. 6 to start though, good option. Now goes Yorker. Just 1. Yeah, he's from Kingston, Jamaica, Aaron Johnson, but obviously moving to Canada. Still relatively new in his T20 international career, only in his 14th T20I, but average over 50. And a lot of people will think, well, Canada have played lesser oppositions, but his runs have come out against Oman. 350 plus totals against them. And they're obviously ranked higher than both the USA and Canada, so scored against quality opposition. Now Paragat Singh. He's having his fun. Deposited into the leg side. This has been a fruitful partnership for Canada. They're in this game.
Boy, Shadley Van Schalkwyk bowling a low full toss with pace on. And so Paragat Singh just getting bats onto ball and helping that over the top of mid-on. Mid-on inside the circle. In fact, I said a low full toss, my apologies. It was a half volley, but the point is it had pace on, and he was able to just help it over that fielder at mid-on and having it run away for 4. So dangerous signs here for Canada. They have a long, long way to go, but they're going well here.
48 runs that these two have put on from just 30 deliveries. This is exactly what Saad bin Zafar asked for at the toss. 65 for 1 after the power play.
Copy that, sir. Copy that.
Massive improvement today from Canada to start the innings. They only managed 30 for 1 in that first T20 international after 6 overs. Saad bin Zafar was very vocal at the toss, wanted more intent, he says, from his openers and top order in the power play. They need to maximize, and they've done just that. Asking rate still just about 12 and over, but they've got wickets in hand. And a very dangerous Johnson. Now, how does he score outside the power play with 5 fielders on the boundary?
I will tell you that it doesn't matter how many fielders are on the boundary, because he's a very powerful man and he can strike the ball really, really well. And so, especially if you give it to him in the areas in which he can score, meaning if you bowl at his body where he can play your way on the leg side, you can have 10 people on the boundary on the leg side, it doesn't matter. He can clear the ropes. So Jesse Singh is going to have to keep that ball outside the line of off, like that first delivery, has to stay on that line.
Back over his head. Hit very well and straight. Mid-off was up. Easy pickings for Johnson.
Well, you're outside of the power play, so you obviously have the option of having a more defensive field. I don't know if I'm the USA that I don't set a more defensive field. Look where this ball ends up. It's full, and they're in that slot. That's the type of delivery that a man with the reach of an Aaron Johnson can extend his arms and go back over your head. So I'd really want to see, in fact, you see it now, long off dropping back into that position. And there's also a long on in position. So a much more defensive look. For me, this is a more appropriate field for a man who is in Aaron Johnson's touch.
Four more. Really well put away. Even with those deep fielders leg side, he's able to find the gap and find it to perfection. Moves on to 49, Aaron Johnson. Canada are on their way in this run chase.
Worrying signs here. They're up to 73. So they're needing to score. I said earlier that they needed to score 2 runs off of every ball. I think Monank Patel is aware that there's something that needs to happen here, because he had to go all the way down to speak to Jesse Singh. And I think it has something to do with the length and the line that he's bowling. The line more so than the length, because bowling that straight to a man who wants to play on the leg side is asking for trouble.
I almost wonder, Brian, if the plan can change. So with the 3 deep fielders leg side and being around the wicket, it's quite obvious he'll be very straight at the body. But that's where he's hit all his boundaries today. I wonder if Singh can actually come around and actually go across him, and you set an extra fielder offside, so you force him to score through the offside, where we haven't really seen a lot of his runs come from.
That certainly would be an option, but whether over or around the wicket, the idea is to hit that area outside the line of off stump. A 4th, a 5th, a 6th stump line is where you want to be. Anything too straight, and he can absolutely destroy you.
Wants 2. 7 on 1. And it will be a half century for Johnson. What a T20 international career this man has had. Originally from Jamaica, that he's a very important member in this Canadian team. His 5th 50 in 14 T20 internationals to go with 200s That is some record, and he's come at a strike rate of 200 as well.
Well, 50 from 25 is exactly what you want from your big opener at the top of the lineup. One wicket has already fallen. That wicket fell at 17. So I tell you, this partnership growing in confidence, and this pair is really looking extremely dangerous for Canada.
Will get to the boundary, no. Well fielded in the end. Nisar Patel, it is that deep third. And that could be crucial. Difference between a double-digit over and just 9 from it. Oh, correction, 10. 75 for 1. Nail-biting encounter set up for you. Canada up against the USA.
That's it!
Could be some run chase if they continue like this. Canada, that's 4 overs. It's gone at close to 11 runs and over, so it's been good from this pair. Time for Harmeet Singh. Starts down the leg side.
Harmeet Singh, one of the more exciting left-handed all-rounders that you'll see. #1 draft pick in the Major League draft in Clear Lake, about an hour away from here last year.
Yeah, just helped, but straight to the man. I think it's been put down. Aaron Jones is usually so good in the outfield.
Boy, that was hit well, but straight to Aaron Jones. Might have just gone down a touch too soon, Aaron Jones, but it did get to him on the full. And there you see, maybe just right of screen, where it got to him, probably ankle height. Aaron Jones will have wanted to have taken that one.
Saw Canada drop 4 catches today. You wonder how crucial that could be. US already have put down 2. Again, another chance in the leg side, but doesn't carry. Yeah, I'm looking at this Canada team. Back of that dugout, Nicholas Curtin. So you see in the second row there. Only left-hander they have in that top 5. He batted at 6 in the last game. But similar to what we spoke about in the first innings, Brian, given that the US are playing 3 left-arm spinners, can they get Curtin up the order? Showed good promise. He got the pads on, so maybe that's a sign. I wonder if they can just maybe work him into that top 5 so it gives them options against different bowling types.
Nikhil, I heard you talk about that earlier. I think in a vacuum, I'd want Nicholas Curtin in my top 4 anyway, in a vacuum, because he's a good top order batter. And then certainly with the bevy of left arm spinners, orthodox spinners that the Americans have, I think it would be absolutely necessary to have him there.
So far, so good for Harmeet Singh. Just 5 singles, and that's not going to win Canada the game. Have to get a boundary at least every over. Done well, though, to keep the rate to a controllable 12 and over required. Middle overs batting was a concern in that first T20 International. Excellent start for Harmeet Singh, the left arm spinner. Just 7 from his first over, 82 for 1.
He's just waiting for the full one. Yeah. Happy with that? Thank you, sir. That's a lot of peace. मैं जस्ट बता रहा था वो मारता भी है उसका इनिशियल मूवमेंट ही सामने के लिए और इधर के लिए पीछे का पैर ही खुल जाता है.
Bowling change, right him over.
Partnership has been a good one between these two, now up to 65
Skip,
from
10
just
seconds,
42
10
deliveries.
seconds.
Saad bin Zafar was very vocal in terms of wanting his team to show more intent with bat in hand. Not only have they done that, but they've kept wickets in hand, which could be critical in this chase.
Back yourself, yeah?
Change of ends for Van Schalkwyk. Coming from that northern end. Starts immediately. Pargat Singh finds the boundary. Excellent way to start the over. It takes pressure off you.
Nikhil, right before Shadley Van Schalkwyk ran into ball, you might have picked up on the stump mic to hear Aaron Johnson say to Pargat Singh, back yourself. And with that exhortation, the very first delivery skips down the track and goes over the top of extra cover. Tremendous start to the over.
Yeah, I think that's the length he'll want to be operating from more often than not, Van Schalkwyk, because anything full, you just saw that ball go through extra cover. He's got long off, long on, but the wind is so strong now from the highway. Seen so many sixes in that area. One thing the USA, in terms of the ends, they obviously know this ground well, Brian. You haven't seen a lot of spin both from that southern end. It's been mainly pace because of that wind factor. Obviously the spinner is easier to pick up. So in that Canada bowling innings, a lot of their spinners who bowled from that end went for a lot of runs. Goes wide, but just look at that. That is extremely well played by Aaron Johnson. Inside the power play, outside the power play, it doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness. Pace off again by Shadley Van Schalkwyk, and not a lot he could have done differently here because this is wide. This is a 6-stump line. If you're bowling that type of delivery and getting hit over the top of cover for 6, you just have to shake your head and say, hey, that was well done. If you had to critique that delivery, maybe you try to get it even fuller. Maybe you go completely bowling wide Yorkers, because anything else, Aaron Johnson will hurt you.
Third in the circle. Will be more runs. Won't get to the boundary, but I don't know what more I can ask. I asked the USA to go wide to him. Van Schalkwyk now with the field set 3 deep offside is going wide to him. He's still able to clear the boundary with ease. It's not easy to hit a delivery of that length and line over point for 6.
It's really not. And the other thing, you suggested this earlier, and Shadley Van Schalkwyk might consider it. Go around the wicket and exacerbate that angle. Have it going all the way across him, because anything else, he's proven to be able to hurt you.
White ball.
Goes wide again, but this time too wide. It's been amazing, actually. Canada, under Saad bin Zafar, they've been successful, not only in one international cricket, but even in T20 international cricket. Right off screen has bin Zafar. Got this new head coach, of course, and Coach Pubudu, who's coached the USA.
Yep.
But the amazing thing is how much Johnson has impacted those wins, averaging almost 80 in the games that they've won. So the fact that he's not only still at the crease, but he's on a big score, I think will really excite them and their prospects of potentially chasing this down. 12 and over with 9 wickets in hand on this surface is gettable, Brian.
I mean, that's exactly to a ball, 12 and over. They need another 134 in 67 balls. So they're maintaining the pace. And again, with Aaron Johnson well set, absolutely, this is looking like it's going to be an interesting chase.
Yeah, must credit Pargat Singh and his role as well. More after the over. End of 9.97 for 1.
Great glasses. I don't think I'm going to use it, but thank you.
Keep taking on.
एक लाख होने तो वो आउट करे.
Five options used so far for Monarch Patel. Haven't seen Nisarg Patel, who is playing today. Another left arm spin option. Scalping's been expensive, as well as Shasdeep Singh. Nachavalka's 2 overs could be critical. Wonder when they get him back into the attack as their sort of wicket-taking option. Harmeet Singh. And you look at this partnership, Brian, which continues to
Great effort,
evolve
buddy. Keep
now
walking, boys. Come on here, let's fellas. Come on, boys.
80, and it's just in 47 deliveries. Many will look at Paragat Singh in isolation and say, well, 25 off 22 is probably not as quick as you want to be going. When you look at the role he's played in the partnership, supporting Aaron Johnson, feeding the strike to him, his defined role, they'll be very happy with this Canada, the way that Singh has gone about things at 3.
Partnership of 81 runs in record time, and again, staying close in terms of the required rate. So that's all you need from this stage. Seeing Paragat Singh have an affinity for using his feet to get to the pitch. At time actually making a good ball into a Yorker.
On the track again. Just one. The last couple of overs from Harmeet Singh have been good. Hasn't conceded a boundary yet. He's bowled 10 deliveries just for the 9 runs. Can't afford to have too many tight overs, Canada, when they're chasing 230. But I think this has shown promise from their batting lineup. I think the biggest worry for them is their bowling. They can get that right, and the difference between 190 and 230 is massive.
My goodness, yes.
Can just string together a few better overs with the ball. Could be an exciting prospect here.
Extra ball is going to cost them an extra run. I think the extra run right now is not as important as the extra ball. Let's see what happens on this bonus delivery.
Excellent delivery from Harmeet Singh. What an over as well. Even with the wide, just 4 from it. 100 comes up for Canada. End of 10, halfway stage. They're set, the Canadians. 131 required from the next 10. It's time for drinks.
Hitting me like spin. That's some good shots. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, 100 after 10 for the loss of just 1 wicket.
Left
so
and
Canada
wrong,
will feel
batsman.
very good about their position in this game. A lot of batting to come. Dhaliwal has got a great record against the USA. Nicholas Curtin, Harsh Thakur. But a lot will be on the shoulders of Aaron Johnson, just because of the destructive nature when he's at the crease. 131 to get from the next 10. This should be quite exciting. Monak Patel in need of a wicket. Goes back to Nachovalkar. Straight away after the break. Wonder how they assess their matchup against Nachovalkar. Given that he's sort of the strike bowler, Brian, do you think they can afford to maybe try to run hard between the wickets, minimize risk just against him, or must they attack?
I would say you still need to go full attack. You're right now scoring at the rate of under 10 runs and over. 9.93 is your scoring rate. And yes, you're thereabouts in terms of the required rate, but it still means you need to score 13 and over the rest of the way. So I don't think there's any one bowler who you could sort of target to just take singles off of. Especially with them having 9 wickets in hand, it's full tilt from here.
And he will find the boundary. Didn't think it would get there, but again from Aaron Johnson, just a touch too full. Tell you, Brian, he converts his 50s into hundreds. He could be easily doing this again.
We see it ends up being a low full toss. Hasn't scored very heavily through the offside, Aaron Johnson. Generally preferring to score heavily on the leg side, but plays this one through extra cover. So if he can score on both sides of the wicket, then he becomes that much more of a dangerous option for the Canadians.
Yeah, extra fielder deep offside, so deep point in place. He's now going over the wicket. So here's that angle across him. Full again. More runs. Even with 3 fielders on the offside, Aaron Johnson finds not only a boundary, but finds 6.
Very full. Watch the length of this delivery. It is on a length that allows Aaron Johnson, who is a powerful striker of the ball, the ability to free his arms. It's a low full toss, in fact. That's actually not a very easy shot to play. A low full toss, probably shin height, and he reaches out with that really, really long, though he has long arms, he has great leverage, and he's able to get under that ball and scoop it over the covers for 6. Tremendous strike.
It does have that mid-wicket on the leg side boundary if he wants to go into the pitch, but nobody else behind square, so it is a risk. This time slightly shorter. It's smart batting as well from Johnson. It's not attack every single delivery. Understanding the threat of Nachovalkar. You've got 11 from the first 3 deliveries. Happy to get 1 and get Pargat Singh on strike. The way he's navigated this run chase has been very intelligent so far.
Certainly intelligent, and from the standpoint that you're judging your runs from here, you mentioned it. 12 runs already from the over, so you're right there in terms of the runs that you need per over. You need 13 runs and over to win. You've essentially already achieved the number of runs that you need from this over. So anything that you get from here can be a bonus. Really smart batting.
Look at that. Chances, yes, it is taken. Thought maybe I'd got it in front of square, but Aaron Jones at deep point breaks the partnership. This is why Nachovalkar was brought back into the attack. And gets a vital wicket. How crucial could that be in the run chase?
Boy, that's a big wicket. You wanted to break this partnership worth 95 runs, and not the best of deliveries that Saurabh Nachovalkar has ever bowled, but he does manage to keep it in the field of play such that Aaron Jones takes a pretty simple catch at deep point. So that is the end of the day with the bat for Pargat Singh. A big partnership of 95 runs is broken. Second wicket goes down for the Canadians. Required rate now up right around 13. It's been 13 for a while, but the best way to slow down the run rate generally is by taking wickets. So let's see exactly how they manage it from here on. Pargat Singh with applause, as you see right there, heading back into the pavilion. It's going to be really important for Nicholas Curtin, who we've spoken about a few times already, in who is now coming to the crease.
40 seconds, 40 seconds.
Nicholas Curtin will be the one to join Aaron Johnson. It's a Bajan and a Jamaican, Nikhil. Let's see what happens from here.
Left
Really
him over.
is smart planning, smart thinking from Saad bin Zafar. Will know that Harmeet Singh has still got 2 overs. The left-arm spinner. They've got Nosh Kenjiga also with 2. And Nisar Patel, another left-arm spinner who we haven't seen yet. I think it tells you about the importance of Curtin and his presence, being the only left-hander in that top 7 before the captain comes in. So, have scored in this over, but they've lost a crucial wicket. Definitely outside the line. End of the 11th, wicket in the over, finally for the USA. 112 for 2.
Left arm round.
Shabba boy, shabba. बॉब को ला सकते हो लेट्स गो हाँ पर बॉब को फिर ला सकते हो बीच में क्या बोलते हो
It has been an eventful day. Harmeet Singh, centre of screen, captain of USA, started things out with 68 from 35. That was electrifying knock. And then Aaron Johnson following suit. A couple of 50s today. It tells you how good the surface has been for batting. Now, interesting change of bowling from Monak Patel. He's gone for Nisar Patel. So, another left-arm spinner into the attack, even with the presence of Curtin at the crease. Good results so far. I'm surprised, really, given how well Harmeet Singh has bowled. But he's just gone for 10 runs in his 2 overs, Brian. They've pulled him up the attack and gone to another option.
Come this side, point. Middle, please. Thank you.
Harmeet Singh is more difficult to attack, so I will not be surprised to have the thinking from Monak Patel be that he wants him to bowl close toward the back end of the innings. Let's say Aaron Johnson is going crazy and you wanting somebody to come in to bowl in overs 15, 17, that's when I would see that eventuality.
Yeah, this is what Nisar Patel does pretty much throughout his career. He's quite an economical bowler. You think about someone like Sunil Narayan in T20 cricket, where not really looking for wickets. He's just looking to frustrate you at the crease, and probably good for a situation like this as well, where you have to score boundaries, you have to get 13 and over. Just stump to stump, very tight line, forces you to do something out of the ordinary. Don't think he's nailed it. Chance taken. Nisar Patel into the attack, gets a crucial breakthrough.
Is that the match? And it might be very early to say that, but the fact that Nisar Patel has just come on and taken the big wicket of Aaron Johnson, you heard the excitement from the fielders because they know how big a wicket this is. Aaron Johnson maybe not quite getting the contact on this one that he would like. There's the idea, keep that ball wide. We talked about it before. It's you want that ball to be wide of the crease. Aaron Johnson can hurt you from anywhere, but I think it's a harder shot for him to play if that ball is wide of the crease. And did not get the elevation on this one that he wanted. And a pretty simple catch down at long off, taken by Jesse Singh. So that is wicket number 3. As they say, 1 brings 2. The 3rd wicket goes down at 114. So the Americans in the last several deliveries have roared back into this match.
Yeah, the change from Monak Patel has worked perfectly. Brings Navneet Dhaliwal, former Canadian captain, to the middle. He's got an excellent record against the USA. Averages over 30 against them. Important innings for him, though. He's been short on runs this year, Dhaliwal. Only 31 runs in League 2. One day for international cricket, of course, and then was run out in that last game without scoring. You can see, though, very consistent line from Nisar Patel, and could be very useful in a situation like this. It's how he's always got his wickets, through frustration, forcing teams to have to do something, produce something if they want to score against him.
What a brilliant over underway. Just 3 runs coming from the over so far with a wicket. And every time you have an economical over like this, it causes the required rate to shoot up.
What about that? Innovation at its finest. Assess the field. He plays that reverse sweep off to Nicholas Curtin. It's gone all the way for 6. Yeah, they're keeping on track with that scoring rate. End of 12, 121 for 3.
Once again, the commentators curse in full effect. That was going down what you thought was a ball on just maybe a 4th stump line, but he switch hits this. Look at this. It would have ended up on off stump. Switch, in fact, it would have ended up a middle stump, but the switch hit is unfurled by Nicholas Curtin, and it goes over essentially what is point, but he made it into square leg with square hits. Goes away for 6. That is the end of over number 12. The score is 121 for 3.
Such a smart option, and I think every time left-arm spin bowls to him, just given the nature of the situation, he will attack. Nicholas Curtin, and he plays those reverse sweeps well, something he practices a lot. You watch him in League 2, he's got 250s this year. A lot of those sweeps and reverse sweeps. So just the one over for Nachavalkar, got Singh. Now it's time for Jesse Singh. It's what you want though, Brian. You definitely want a competitive fixture. USA comfortably won that first one, but Canada are in with a great shout. 14 runs and over in the last 8 with 7 wickets in hand. They'll think that they've got a great chance to win this game.
I don't disagree, but it's much more difficult to do that with batters who've only been at the crease for 3 and 2 deliveries respectively. And so it certainly does mean that you have to take a little bit of time to get started, and the time that it takes for you to get started is essentially when the run rate or the required rate goes up. As of right now, the required rate, as you mentioned, is 14. They need another 109 runs in the next 47 balls, so that will not be easy.
Curtin is busy. Just one. They do have some batting to come. Taka, we saw Captain Sad bin Zafar struck at 200 in the last game, so there is some power to come, but a lot will be, I think, just because of that left-handed presence. Nicholas Curtin and the ability to attack the left-arm spin, which has to bowl, I think could be quite prominent in this run chase if they are to get there. Tells you though, margins, 23 runs came off that last over when they bowled Canada. How badly could that come back to hurt them?
Yes, Bobby, yes, Bobby. Yes.
Oh, they will get the second. Just a slight fumble. Good awareness. Curtin was who wanted it.
You mentioned different options, Nikhil, and one option to consider, given that Nicholas Curtin is at the crease, you've not yet seen Stephen Taylor with the ball. Stephen Taylor, off spinner, he's a left-handed batter, but he bowls right-handed off spin. So he would be an option to try to take the ball away from the left-handed Curtin if that becomes a necessity later on.
Again, just a single. That's a good start to the over. Stephen Taylor, it's an interesting point you make. He only bowled the one over in the last game, that 15th over, and he only went for 7 runs. But I think he's an option that they have to develop, because you will find teams in the World Cup and beyond with a lot of left-handers, and you want someone spinning the ball away. Well played, Nicholas Curtin. He's got the promotion today, and he's justifying it.
I said to you earlier that I thought that Nicholas Curtin would need to bat in the top 4, regardless of whether or not it's a lefty or righty bowling. Jesse Singh, not necessarily a very bad ball. It was maybe on the 5th stump line, but just enough width for Nicholas Curtin to stay leg side of the ball and angle the bat, just getting it by enough point to run away for 4. So still a good over underway for Canada. 9 already from it with 1 ball to come. So you get a boundary here, and then you're right there in terms of what your required rate is.
Instantly they want 2. Way back quite comfortably. Good from Curtin. Had to hurry Dhaliwal. I think he just got there in the end. Progressive over.
I thought it was dropped.
1-3-2 for 3.
Skip falling behind. Just keep pushing. You're falling behind.
Let's go, boys!
Just to get rid of me.
Hey!
All right, 13 overs done, 7 remain. And here is Stephen Taylor. And Nicholas Curtin, even though Nisar Patel got a wicket in that last over, left-handed presence at the crease, so they've gone for an off-spin option. Oh, put down. Another chance gone to begging. Never easy, those return catches. 7 catches dropped now between these two teams.
Look at this, struck firmly back to Stephen Taylor himself. In fact, that was not the replay. This is struck into the outfield for a single, but I think you're exactly right. Those return catches are never easy, but you can either think of it as a drop catch, or you can think of it as having saved 4 runs, because it was struck firmly and straight, and that very well could have gone back right past the bowler for 4 had he not stopped it.
Keep an eye on that reverse sweep. Third is in the circle for Nicholas Curtin. Instead he goes big, massive, wow. That is sheer power from the Barbadian. This run chase is well on.
Not much turn on offer there for Stephen Taylor, bowling from around the wicket, slanting this ball into Nicholas Curtin, and he will want for that ball to be more outside the line of off, but again, not a whole lot of turn. Nicholas Curtin, a tall man, has really long arms, has good leverage, and is able to reach forward and plant this one over the top of long on for his second 6.
I was saying keep an eye on that reverse sweep, because third and point are in the circle, so he can hit with the spin, but he's also got the option of going down the ground like he just did for 6. Phil again misses out, but still get through for the single. Been minimal dots in this partnership. It's been good from Canada, even after they lost wickets in quick succession. Partnership has developed nicely. It's building. Such an improvement from that first game, Brian. Chance, yes, taken. Deep cover. Just carried all the way, and Dhaliwal, who was put down early in the over this time, has to depart.
Oh, this time it's you who breaks out the commentator's curse, Nikhil. Lofted down to deep cover. A pretty straightforward chance taken in the deep. Stephen Taylor has taken his first wicket. We talked about him. We thought he'd be more effective against the left-hander, but here we're seeing this delivery quicker and flatter. Short delivery and lofted into the outfield, and a pretty straightforward chance taken. Shadley Van Skalkvik, I believe who that is. He's not going to drop that. So that is wicket number 4 that goes down. Wicket falls at 140, which means that that partnership worth 28 runs, but it is broken. And again, the easiest way to slow down the required rate, or to increase the required rate, slow down the run rate, is by taking wickets. Harsh Thacker, now the new batter. He joins Nicholas Curtin. Canadians now struggling just a little bit. That required rate now touching 15.
Still maintaining that right-left combination.
Keeper.
2 just 1. Good over from Taylor. They'll take that. 9 from it. Wicket as well. 1 for 1 for 4.
Leg stump. Right him over.
90 from the last 6 required, not going to be easy, but is possible. But a very capable pair at the crease. They have captain Saad bin Zafar still to come. It will be Shadi van Schalkwyk, mainly known for his execution at the back end. Can he execute this second T20 International? Starts pace off. That's the leg cutter, so it's out almost the side of the hand. Has a few different slower deliveries. You mentioned, Brian, that spell in the first match of the series. Not only did he go for just 19 runs, but the overs he bowled as well. He bowled the 17th and 20th over, and he only went for 12 in those 2. Critical overs to bowl, so definitely can hold his nerve under pressure. That is great. Absolutely brilliant from Harsh Thakur. What a way to get going. Not easy of a surface to start.
Struck right back down the ground. You've seen a lot of runs come in that area. Shadi van Schalkwyk getting this one maybe just a touch too full. You mentioned that he bowls really well. That was pace off again, but that length is what allowed Harsh Thakur to play through the line. Not a lot of tricks in this pitch. Brilliant strike for 4.
Straight again. This time though, the long off is much straighter, so just 1. That's the plan. He wants to bowl full and wide. Both those variations. Saw the leg cutter first up, and then the off cutter, which was hit for 4. Now to Curtin. He's got a pat to leg side field, so deep long on, backward square, and deep mid wicket, as well as long off and deep cover. So probably will go to that straight Yorker, aiming for that right heel of Nicholas Curtin. Fine leg is up in the circle though, so maybe that's an area of scoring. Edged and gone. Great take from Monak Patel. An execution at the back end again from Shadi van Schalkwyk.
That was a tremendous catch. In fact, it's an instant replay of a dismissal that you saw on Sunday. Thick outside edge. Threw the bat at it, Nicholas Curtin, and it came off the outside edge, and a really athletic diving one-handed snag by the captain, Monak Patel, with the gloves on. Really does well here. Nicholas Curtin looked really good for a while, but 21 from 9 is what he ends up with. 1 4 and 2 6s, but his dismissal, look at this catch. Slanting across him. That's the right-handed to the left-hander. And that's, in fact, I said one-handed. He did manage to get to it with both hands, but it was a diving attempt that was successful. Really good work with the gloves from the skipper. That is wicket number 5.
Good use as well of the field. Almost a bluff from Van Schalkwyk. Had 3 deep leg side. Curtin may have expected a straighter delivery. Instead, went off cutter, moving away from him, and went wide. Brings the captain Saad bin Zafar to the middle. Now it won't be easy after the loss. Set batter. Impactful not from Curtin though. Shown really good versatility. In that first game came in when they had lost wickets.
Right him over.
3 wickets in space of just 2 overs. Was able to rebuild, get them to something competitive. Then today, having to chase massive total. Ability to find the boundary. So they've got something to work with from him. Be interesting to see how they use him going forward in the series. Again, another slower delivery.
Still maintaining the left arm or left-hand right-hand combination with left-handed Nicholas Curtin having been dismissed, and the captain Saad bin Zafar replacing him. But more to the point, with that dot ball, the required rate is now up above 16. So things are more and more difficult here for the Canadians. They've lost 5 wickets. This hill to climb gets steeper.
Is it another one? It is. It's 20 over 4, Van Schalkwyk. What an addition he has been to this USA team in T20 international cricket.
That time he went pace on. And a very quick delivery, catching Saad bin Zafar late. Wanted to play a little bit through the offside, but very late on the shot. And the thick edge with the stump cams in position. You could hear the edge from right here. And And look at this again. It's the line for me that is what works here for Shadley Van Skalkvik. Look at this. Outside the line of off, and that soft feather, but you heard it clear as day in the stump mic. And that is wicket number 6. This will give us a better look here. And look again, the line is on a 4th stump line. Saad bin Zafar not having the leverage to be able to play that aggressive shot. And that is wicket number 6. So that is the end of over number 15. Last 5 coming up. The Canadians need 85 runs. 146 for 6.
With the departure of both Curtin and Bin Zafar means 2 right-handers at the crease. So captain has gone back to the left arm spin. Fielded. Look at that. Shadley Van Skalkvik just bowled an over under pressure, then just saves 2 runs for his team.
Good work in the outfield. Obviously, it's a stage of the innings where you want your sprinters in the outfield. Shadley Van Skalkvik, in addition to being a really good death bowler, also one of the better athletes on the side, sprinting to his left that time to save 2 runs for his team.
Chance, maybe no, just gone over his head. It was Jesse Singh down at that deep extra cover position. Harsh Thakur, he's still at the crease. More than capable, but great start to this over.
Playing with the turn, left arm spinner Nisarg Patel, and not necessarily a lot wrong with the delivery. You want him to be playing from out there, and it was outside the line of off, but it was played really well with the turn, going across, or in fact over the top of extra cover for 6.
It does have back-to-back one-day international hundreds this year, Harsh Thakur, in the league too. So different format, averages over 14 one-day international cricket. It tells you his quality. Requiring something different though, has to be more aggressive in this situation. So far so good. How many more boundaries can they get from this over? Skalvik has 1 to go. Nachavalka also has 1. This time straight, but boundary again. Fine leg was in the circle, so tried to go straight. Didn't adjust the field. 10 from the last 2 deliveries.
Yeah, Harmeet Singh, who's the fielder at short fine leg. Once it got past him, that's well played. Just clipping off his legs, the good old-fashioned leg glance, if you will. Harmeet Singh tries he might, cannot get to that one. So a 6 and then a boundary, needing to go at 16 and over, but 12 already halfway through this over. So you're certainly starting out well here from that standpoint to Canada.
Okay.
Again on that leg stump line. So far so good. 13 from the over. Still 2 deliveries to go. You never know, you know, Brian. This could be still on if Harsh Thakur remains. Cricket is a funny game.
It is a game of glorious uncertainties. We don't have the technology here in the Kill for a win predictor. If I had a stab or take a stab at a win predictor, I would say 61% US, 39% Canada. Your thoughts?
Yeah,
I find that quite low for the US. I thought you would give them a lot more given that they're 6 down, the Canadians, but interesting we shall see. I think Kumar would just need to get Thakur on strike as quickly as possible. Now he has the reverse sweep as well, but 2 dots to end. That could be very critical in this defense. 159 for 6. Number of options used from Monat Patel today. It's been interesting the way he's used his bowlers. Harmeet Singh just went for 10 runs in those 2 overs, never saw the ball again. And What is he thinking now, Monarch Patel? Jasdeep Singh, who has the ball in hand, has gone for 31 in 3. Here he is back into the attack to bowl his 4th. Starts well. I wonder though, Brian, and I think it tells you a lot about the captain. Some captains would prefer to have Nachavalkar or Van Skalvik now, thinking if you get Taka out, you win the game. But Monarch Patel has shown a couple of times today that he's thinking long term, thinking future. So he saves Nachavalkar.
Right him over.
As a more attacking option for later on. Did this a couple of days ago in that first T20 International. And Jesse Singh went for 13. It was a pivotal over in helping Canada get to something competitive. Let's see if he can execute today.
It will be interesting to see if he uses Nush Kenjige the rest of the way. I want to pay attention to that.
Goes short. Wide signal.
Tell you what, that was a good, sharp bouncer. Got it a little too high. It's not easy to get the ball to bounce, or it's not difficult to get the ball to bounce over the head of the batter. He's not very tall. But, there you see Parveen Kumar. Look at this short delivery. Actually trapped him potentially on the back foot. Had that ball not bounced as high, it might have delivered a bit of a trouble here for Parveen Kumar.
Think he's got all of it. No, he hasn't. Nosh Kenjige makes no mistake.
Nosh Kenjige, one of the safest hands ever, who represents West Indies, represents the U.S. in cricket. And sometimes you can sort of tell where you expect the ball to go by where Nosh Kenjige is fielding. Fields all over the field. And look at this delivery into the body and lofts it on the leg side. Nosh Kenjige looking and then judging it to perfection, about 2 feet in front of the ropes at deep mid-wicket, or deep square leg rather. And that is wicket number 7. Things have gotten that much more difficult for the Canadians because now the required rate is approaching. In fact, this has cleared 19. They need another 70 in the last 22 balls. Dylan Hilliger is the new batter. Doesn't take a lot of imagination to think what his approach is going to be. Essentially, you're at the wicket to do one thing, and it's going to be to score runs. You'd have played yourself in walking to the wicket, because at this stage, if you're going to challenge in this game at all, you're going to be able to, or you're going to need to hit the ground running from the very first ball.
Right him over.
Yeah, Dylan Hilliger is known for his power hitting ability. Just think though, maybe it's too steep of a mountain. 1-2 straight away. Just be 1, but his strike rate in T20 international cricket is 180, Brian, and he averages over 50. So not only has he done well to find the boundary, he's made a name for himself in being able to finish the innings and stay unbeaten. Interesting that they've saved him and kept him back, as opposed to sending him ahead of someone like Parveen Kumar.
You mentioned big hitting. This situation calls for nothing if not for big hitting. So it would seem to be the type of situation where if you expect a man to be able to score 20, 25 runs in 1 over, this would be when you'd want that.
You can hear the frustration. I think even though he may struggle to win this game, Canada, a lot of positives to take, a lot of improvements in just a day. That first T20 international, the middle overs batting was a big concern. Lost 5 wickets, but only went at a run a ball between overs 6 and 15. Today, they've gone at 9 and over. Obviously, the situation demanded that, chasing 230, but still, it shows that they're capable. Something to work with for Coach Pubudu and Captain Sad Bin Zafar moving forward. Still in this game with these two. Yeah, this is the power. Colossal strike. Fetch that.
That's why you bring him in at this stage. Again, you want somebody to score quickly, and Jesse Singh is going to have to choose to either bowl Yorkers or a short delivery that's into the body, because this one is exactly in the slot for the batter. Look where this ball ends up. If there is a hitter who wants to get under the ball and loft it to mid-wicket, that's exactly what that type of delivery was. So Jesse Singh is going to want to get that one either all the way full or maybe go pace off, but do something different other than that type of delivery, because those are the kinds of deliveries that a hitter like Dylan Haliger can take advantage of.
One delivery to go in this over. Can they find the boundary again? Hit that well, really well. So 10 from the last 2 deliveries spoils the over for Jesse Singh. This run chase is still on. 20 and over required for the last 3. 173 for 7.
Struck right down the ground. Look at this. And I actually thought this was a much better delivery, but he does well, Dylan Haliger, equal to the task. It was a low full toss, drills it right past his partner, and it's too straight for long on getting around to be able to get to it. So yeah, the chase is still on. 14 coming from that over. We need another 58 in the next 18 balls. Score is 173 for 7.
Yeah, things favoring the USA for the majority of this innings, but a few big strikes. You saw when Canada bowled, the US got 23 from the last over, 3 maximum struck by Aaron Jones. This is a big call from Monak Patel. You asked for him, Nosh Kenjige. So we've seen 3 left-arm spinners today. Isaac Patel, he picked up that crucial wicket of Johnson, but he's gone at 11 and over. Time for Kenjige. Hasn't bowled since the power play. Now has to deliver the 18th over. And he's nailed that through the gap to start. What a start!
Outside off, offering him just a little bit too much room there, Nosh Kenjige. Look at this delivery. In fact, no, I take that back. He backed away to make a ball that was toward leg stump into a hittable delivery. That's good batting. Maneuvering around the crease, Harshtaker, and taking advantage of the opportunity to score on the offside.
So smart. Field stays the same. Tries again, but again, even slower from Kenjige. And this is something I think he does really well. He's brave, Nosh Kenjige. So even after conceding a boundary, still flights again. Tend to see for other bowlers, they go quick. Now, is he brave enough to flight to Dylan Haliger? That's the real question. He is hitting into the wind. Down the ground.
Flight outside off.
Goes straight up. Should be taken. Is taken. Brave decision by Monak Patel. It's so far in the over, it's worked.
I mentioned outside off because if a guy is a big hitter of the ball, he wants the ball coming into his body so he can play away on the leg side. But Nosh Kenjige is a smart enough bowler to know that if he keeps it away from his power stroke, in other words, keep it outside of off, it's the type of delivery that can pick up a wicket in this circumstance. So watch where this ball ends up. Definitely outside, maybe a 5th stump line, and that top edge is taken. Pretty simple catch taken there by Saurabh Netravalkar. So that is wicket number 8. I asked for him, I got him. Nosh Kenjige is one of the smartest and one of the most effective bowlers for me in the history of USA cricket. Doing well here to take one for his team and drag them that much closer to what, in theory, would be a pretty emphatic victory.
Normal.
Yeah, don't underestimate the challenge, folks, because he's only playing his second T20 international.
Don't one for him. Say one.
Had a really good start, player of the match in match 1. Now to not bowl for pretty much the entirety of the innings since the power play, and then come in and deliver an over like this. High pressure. Joshi, the new batter. Yeah, does the smart thing. Gets Taka back on strike. And we've seen it, I think, a lot in the T20 game now, Brian, where the recognized batter denies the singles. Does Harshtaker believe he can maybe find the boundary enough that he just takes the remaining deliveries? You've got 14 deliveries at the disposal. They need 52. How many boundaries can Harshtaker find? Still have that close offside ring. Short third, point, and cover all in the circle offside. He's trying to go to that area, but not able to do so. Just one. They do take the single, but one delivery to go.
Yeah, I don't know that there'd be any thought to farming the
Circle,
bowling
circle.
at this stage. Essentially, you need a 4 off of every ball the rest of the way. 23.54 is your required rate. So scoring 51 in the next 13 deliveries, it becomes that much more difficult. So you don't have the luxury to play any cute games like farming the strike. What you need to do is essentially, if you're going to genuinely attempt to win this game, is just hit out.
End of the over. A really good one from Nosh Kenjige under pressure. Gets the wicket, only concedes 7. 180 for 8.
Aaron, quite a bit. There you go, like square cover. And then Noshi.
Next, sir. Right and over, please.
Jesse up, Jesse up.
Trying to kill the mic, or the stump mic, really adds a lot to the coverage. Being able to get into the mind of Shadley Van Skalkwyk, immediately calling for where he wants his fielders, getting the all-important 19th over. What you're trying to do here as a bowler is to bowl an over in which you concede as few runs as possible. Usually, let's say they were chasing 20. You'd want for this over to concede around 8 or 9. A few more runs to play with at this stage.
Carves it. Can't find the boundary though. We'll get 2, so Taka will retain the strike. Interesting. It's an interesting innovation, you know, Brian, to have the stump mics. First time we've had it here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. One thing you notice throughout the innings, the umpires have constantly been updating the players on the timing between the over. Remember, when you get to the T20 World Cup, you've only got 60 seconds between overs to be ready. So it's good that has been in practice from early. It's a key aspect of the game where if you are warned too many times, you start to face a penalty. And of course, no one wants to have 4 feeders only 4 feeders outside the circle. So something that Monak Patel and Saad bin Zafar will need to execute and practice going into that tournament.
In the meantime, brilliant bowling here by Shadley Van Skalkwyk. A double and a dot to start over number 19.
Nailed that, Harsh Taka. Even if they don't get over the line, they'll be very happy with the way that they've gone about this run chase, Canada.
I am absolutely lethal with the commentator's curse because this one was drilled right back over the top. Look at this one again. Harsh Thakur now up to 29 from 15. That is a brilliant strike right down the ground. 1 bounce for 4. And yes, they'll probably fall short at the end, but this is great effort.
One of the biggest questions many had coming into this series, looking at this Canada team,
You can leave it the same.
given the success they had in the 50-over format, can guys like Taka, Nicholas Curtin, Dhaliwal translate from such good longer format batting to the shorter format? Not like this from Taka. 200 strike rate is exactly what they want. Both Nicholas Curtin and him have made high impact today. A lot to build on moving forward. It's just the bowling, Brian. Tell you what, Joshi's got that. I thought you'd be looking to give the strike to Taka, but no. He has nailed that.
Absolutely hammers this one over mid-wicket. Frustration from Shadley Van Skalkwyk, who's bowled well, generally speaking, from the standpoint that he's kept the Canadians under the required rate. But I think he's giving up more runs here than he'd want. Slower delivery and absolutely jumping all over it is Rishiv Joshi, going all the way over mid-wicket for yet another 6.
Just a correction earlier on that discussion of getting the overs, getting through the overs and being ready in 60 seconds. The penalty, so for Rayon King and the other match referees, the penalty given is 5 penalty runs if you don't complete and change over in 60 seconds. Well delivered. Oh no, it's not. Van Skalkwyk thought it was nailed. I want to see that again, really. Tell you, this is a batter's game. But just to finish the point, Brian, if you don't change over and you don't get to the other end to be ready to start that over within 60 seconds, you're at risk of getting 5 penalty runs. In a game like this, in any T20 game, it could be critical.
For sure.
Harshtacker's having a chat with Joshi. Probably has free swing this delivery. They need 37 from 7. So at this stage, we'll need 6 sixes to make it to go to super over.
Oh, goodness.
Nails it. Even though he's been expensive in this over, Van Schalvik, he'll be happy with this performance. A couple of crucial wickets. Well, that 15th over went for just 5 and picked up 2. So his work for the day is done.
One ball.
And I think the USA will get home from here. 195 for 8. 1 to go.
Harry, normal रखना है ना? Normal.
Umpy, this one.
1 over to go. It will be Harmeet Singh. A lot of spin ball today from both teams. I think actually this surface is played better than many thought. Everyone picked the extra spinner. See Jermaine Lindo there. Third umpire today.
Ah, yes! I want that!
Oh, given. So maybe some bat on it. Joshi doesn't think so, but he's got to depart. And just a final nail in the coffin, really. But credit to Canada. They've made a game out of this. Not easy when you're chasing 230.
Looking to drag this one from outside the line of off. Harmeet Singh. And you see immediately appealing. Monank Patel going up immediately. And Harmeet Singh joining him in that appeal. That's wicket number 9. A little bit of turn there, Nikhil. That's the one that has turned more than any of the other deliveries I've seen so far today. And Harmeet Singh bowling the all-important 20th over. Not easy for a spinner to come in and bowl over number 20. Starts off here with success. The Canadians are within 1 delivery of being down and out officially.
And they will go 2-0 down in the series, Canada. But again, it's more than just the result. They're building towards that T20 World Cup. New team with some young faces, trying to find that right combination. And they made significant improvement from that first T20 International. So trending in the right direction. Middle overs structured their batting well. Facilitated the power that they have. Gone at 12 and over in the last 5 so far. Just the bowling. If they can get that right, they can really challenge this United States team.
Specifically the spin bowling. Oh.
Another chance going down. 8 catches today between the two teams put down. So catching hasn't been easy.
Not the easiest of catches. There you see Harmeet Singh obviously feeling a little bit of pain where that ball struck him. Look at this. Right back at him. That is not easy for a spinner. For any bowler, but particularly not a spinner. And he concedes 4 runs here. But to the point that you were making, Nikhil, if the Pacers understand their role, specifically Dylan Hilliger. For me, if he goes short much earlier in the piece, as this one goes all the way, it's going to be caught, actually.
Yeah, and that will be it. A comfortable and comprehensive win for the United States. In the end, winning by some 31 runs. However, at times, Canada really put them on the back foot. And these two teams have produced some thrillers in the past. However, USA have dominated this series. They now take a 2-0 lead in this 5-match series.
Wanting to go for the big hit to close things out. Really had no choice at this stage. Uday Bhagwan Singh ends up just holding out in the deep. Jesse Singh with a pretty straightforward chance. And so that is the end of the day. The Canadians fall to the United States of America right here at the Prairie View Cricket Complex. Let's see what the scoring card looks like. Dominated in the middle by the big partnership between Aaron Johnson and Pargat Singh. Aaron Johnson top scoring 74 from 40, Pargat Singh 27 from 26. Nicholas Curtin tried. Davni Dalwal came in left. And then Harsh Thakur not out 34 from 17, but single-digit scores the rest of the way with the exception of Dylan Hilliger, 11 from 4. That is the end of the day for the Canadians.
Yeah, enterprising T20 game, really. Over 400 runs being scored. Really good surface for batting. The key thing is USA have been able to defend at one stage though in that 95-run partnership between Johnson and Singh. You thought maybe Saurabh Netravalkar, as always, in the wickets, picked up 2, as well as Van Schalvik bowled a critical 15th over, even though he went for runs. Harmeet Singh picking up 2 in the last over. And wicket apiece for everyone, at least today. So good all-round efforts. But the USA end this second T20 International with a win. Stay tuned for the post-match presentation.
Complain about pitch. Huh? If they ain't bat properly, then we'll make the runs.
One, two, one. So you want me step like this? Welcome to the post-match presentation for this second T20 International between the USA and Canada. We'll now hear from the two captains as well as the player of the match. We'll ask Saad bin Zafar, Canadian captain, to come up. Saad, commiserations today. Second time where your bowling has really let you guys down. What do you think you're missing bowling-wise?
Yeah, obviously, like for our pace attack, it's inexperience. They're still learning. T20 is not an easy game. Especially when you get a flat track, the pressure is always on the bowler. I still believe. I think yes, we did miss our lengths today, but overall, I think if we had taken a few chances that we got early on, we missed those chances. I think we didn't really feel well as a team. If we had taken early chances, results could have been different.
Didn't see you bowl in the power play in these two matches. What's the thinking behind that? Is it more opportunity or is it tactical?
Well, it's usually tactical, and also like the first game, my hand got injured a little, so I'm not really feeling 100% with my arm. So it was just one of those things, and especially like it's matchups as well. So we know like few of their players up top, they struggle against off spin. So that was my kind of game plan.
Third time you've dismissed Monak Patel. But Saad, batting-wise now, what stood out to you as captain? What impressed you about the fact that you guys got to that 200 mark?
Well, definitely really impressed with how we went about the chase. The intent was there from the beginning, and I think till the 15th, 16th over, we were still there up at par with the chase. It's just that we lost few wickets in patches towards the end, and we couldn't finish the game. I still believe if we had restricted them to 10, maybe the game was still on. We just gave like 15-20 extra runs. But overall, happy with how my batting went today, and I think lots of positives to take as well.
All right, really well done. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
That was Saad bin Zafar, Canadian captain. We'll now ask Monak Patel to come up because not only is he the winning captain, he's also the player of the match. He'll collect his award from the Mayor of Prairie View, Mr. Ron Leverett, as well as a cheque and a trophy. So a lot for Monak to collect. A cheque of $250, as well as a trophy. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Everett. We'll just have a word with Monak.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
You want what?
That's it. Monak, really well done today. You spoke about wanting to see intent from your batting group. You set the tone early. How did you assess conditions in that power play?
I think as we planned, we wanted to check the first 2 overs, and as soon as we played the first 2 overs, I thought the wicket was really good. It was coming nice on the bat. So we wanted to make sure that we used the power play, and I think me and especially Bob used it really well. And we brought up the momentum, and then we made sure that we carry forward till the last ball of the over, of the innings. And I think 230 on this pitch was, I think, a par score. I know the wind was really strong, but we meant to make sure that we get crucial wickets, and we got it at the right time.
Tell me about your batting approach. It's only the second time you guys have got past 200 in T20 international cricket. What has changed with this team, Monak, than the one in the past?
I think, yeah, we talked about playing fearless cricket and being smart at the same time. And actually, we practice a lot in the nets, and we actually implementing it here. So happy that we are getting the result.
Your personal game never had an international T20 international 50 before this series. You've got 2 in 2 games. What has sort of changed? What have you worked on coming into this series?
I think going to India a few months and working there really helped me, and it's just all about you getting one good inning and getting the confidence and carrying forward for the another innings.
2 wins in 2 games for your new head coach, Short Law. What has he sort of provided for your team and your guys so far?
I think he has given us the freedom to play the brand of cricket we want to play, and everyone has different strength, and he has always told us that, back yourself and back your strength.
Really well done today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Monak Patel, the captain, winning captain and player of the match for his consecutive 50 in this series. Don't go too far. We'll be back in action tomorrow for the third T20 International.